Something profound is shifting in the very fabric of reality, and you're not just observing it, you're being pulled directly into the heart of it. Unseen forces are intensifying, preparing you for a spiritual awakening so significant, it will challenge everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world around you. This isn't just another astrological event that you can passively observe. This is a rare window of opportunity, a personal invitation from the cosmos to dive into the depths of your soul and confront the illusions that have been obscuring your true path. And if you are feeling a pull to understand more, that is a sign that this message is specifically meant for you. You're not here by accident. You've been intuitively guided to this moment because the universe has something very important to communicate. This period of intense Neptune retrograde is activating a powerful spiritual shift, creating an opening for encounters with other realms, and will bring with it an experience that is both intensely confusing and incredibly revealing. You are being beckoned to look into the mirror that is the universe and see both your potential and your challenges. This retrograde will not offer any easy answers. Instead, it will ask you to embrace the duality that is existence. It will be a constant push and pull, and this is essential for your growth. You might find yourself experiencing intense intuitive flashes, or perhaps you'll be plagued by unsettling paranoia. Moments of soaring energy could suddenly crash into waves of lethargy. You might experience moments of crystal-clear understanding, only to be immediately followed by a fog of confusion, and your perception of time and space itself may begin to waver. These experiences are not random. They are the universe recalibrating your internal compass, preparing you to navigate the uncharted territories of your own soul. Have you felt it? Are you questioning things you've always accepted as truth? Are you experiencing an increased volume of dreams, or perhaps noticing an unusual amount of synchronicities in your daily life? All of this is part of the unfolding process, the language of the cosmos speaking directly to you. This is a time when the veil between worlds is thinning, allowing energies and entities to move more freely between realms, creating a heightened spiritual atmosphere that will test your perceptions, but will also allow you to access deeper insights. This isn't merely a cosmic weather pattern. It's a significant turning point, both personally and collectively. On January 3rd, as Neptune begins its retrograde journey, its influence will be amplified due to a rare alignment with Venus, intensifying the spiritual and emotional shifts that are already underway. The decisions you make, the thoughts you entertain, and the actions you take during this period will have profound implications for your future spiritual trajectory. Ignoring the subtle signals, turning away from the inner work, or choosing to remain bound to the illusions of the past will lead you down a path of confusion and missed opportunities for growth. There is a specific understanding that is being asked of you, and the truth is often hidden in places you would never expect to find it. What you choose to see and what you choose to ignore will define your experience during this time. For example, a relationship that has long been stagnant may suddenly reach a breaking point. A job you thought you loved might now feel like a cage, or a belief that has been guiding your decisions may suddenly feel restrictive. The pressure and intensity you are feeling is purposeful and is meant to help you break through what isn't authentic in your life, creating space for something real. The reality that you've been experiencing might soon feel more like a dream, where the solid ground beneath your feet begins to shift and change in unusual ways. Physical sensations like lightheadedness, tingling, or sudden waves of fatigue are not just random occurrences. They are direct feedback from your body as it adjusts to the intensifying energies of the retrograde. Similarly, emotional fluctuations, heightened anxiety, sudden tears, or unexpected anger are not simply mood swings. They're the reverberations of the cosmos as it dismantles old structures and beliefs to reveal your authentic truth, and you are being called to embrace them. If you find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew, you're not alone. It is part of the process, and it has to happen before real growth can occur. Know this. This period of intense self-reflection will reveal parts of yourself you have long ignored or suppressed, but also offer a chance to step into a more authentic version of who you are, creating a profound liberation and connection to the truth. This is the moment to take responsibility for your spiritual well-being and to stop living in a state of illusion and begin the journey to true authenticity. Let's get into what Neptune retrograde actually means. From an astrological perspective, it's when Neptune appears to move backward in the sky, even though it's not actually changing its orbital path, but it is a cosmic signal that the planet's energies are being turned inwards, amplifying its influence on our subconscious minds and spiritual perceptions. This retrograde, beginning January 3rd and lasting for several months, is an opportunity for deep inner work, and this amplified energy has the potential to both disrupt the illusions we have grown comfortable with, and also to reveal hidden messages that have been waiting to be understood. Think of it like this. Neptune is a cosmic mirror, and the retrograde is the moment you stop ignoring what has been reflected back to you, and the surface of that mirror is finally getting clean to allow you to see more clearly. The veil between worlds that normally separates the seen from the unseen will become more porous. This means that there's a greater chance of connecting with spiritual guides, experiencing sudden visions, or feeling an overwhelming connection to the world. And not all of these experiences will be pleasant. Some will be incredibly challenging. These encounters might manifest as sudden, vivid dreams that contain powerful messages. You might feel a heightened sense of knowing that can't be logically explained. You might find yourself in conversations that feel uncannily pre-planned, or begin to see repeating number sequences that are not just coincidences, but signposts that have been placed on your path. This is all part of the increased spiritual activity that's coming into our reality as the veil between worlds becomes more permeable, allowing you to have greater access to different dimensions. But it's absolutely essential to understand that this experience isn't just some abstract concept. It's a personal reality that you will actively engage with. And during this time, the most important thing that you can do is to be in a state of self-reflection. This is not a time for frantic action, but one for quiet contemplation. The answers that you're looking for are not in the outside world, they're within yourself. This retrograde is designed to help you discover that, by offering you very specific experiences that have been designed for you, all meant to help you see what is true. Your experiences are not arbitrary, they're personalized opportunities for growth. The feeling of being pulled in multiple directions, the overwhelming emotional responses, the sudden bursts of intuition, all of this is a coded language, a set of breadcrumbs that have been laid out for you to follow. It is essential to begin paying attention. This might mean meditating, journaling, or simply spending time in quiet reflection and observation, and noticing how you are feeling when the energy is intense. By engaging in these practices, you create the space to better understand the messages being communicated by the universe. The signs may come in the form of vivid dreams, recurring numbers like 333 or 11. 11, or an uncanny sense of knowing something without any logical reason. These are not coincidences, they are purposeful communications. They are signposts that will lead you to what you need to know, but you must be in a position to be able to see them. Now that you have a sense of what's coming and the patterns that are beginning to form, ask yourself, have you felt a subtle pull to understand more about the mysteries that lie just beyond what you can see? Are you starting to see things that you can't rationally explain? Are you finally ready for your life to fundamentally change? The universe is actively moving you into alignment, and your perception is about to be challenged. What you believe to be true might only be a fragment of the entire picture. There is much more to be revealed to you if you choose to see it. These initial experiences and patterns that you are beginning to understand will become more amplified as the retrograde progresses, and the way that you choose to engage with them will directly impact your spiritual trajectory. What you are feeling right now is only the first layer of a much deeper shift, but it will require more than just your awareness. it will require action. The power of forgiveness, the release of old illusions, and the steps you must take into complete authenticity are all things that will be explored more fully, but they will also be critical to your growth. It's time to not just see, but to act. Now that you know, you can't ignore it, because the journey you've started is only the very beginning. What comes next is more important than what has already happened, and it is essential that you understand what to do with this new knowledge. Now that you've begun to feel the initial stirrings of this powerful shift, it's time to delve deeper into the very core of what Neptune Retrograde is designed to do. The fog of Neptune isn't just about obscuring your vision. It's also about revealing aspects of reality you've been unable to see, and this dual process is essential for your transformation. You're not simply moving through this period, you're being actively reshaped by it. This is a push and pull, a cosmic dance between confusion and clarity, and the more aware you are of this duality, the more effectively you'll navigate the energies that are unfolding. You may find yourself suddenly experiencing moments of profound certainty about a life choice, only to be immediately overwhelmed with crippling self-doubt, as if the very foundations of your understanding have been turned upside down. Or you might perceive a relationship or situation with a clarity you have never experienced, only to find yourself slipping back into the old patterns as if you've been pulled back into a fog, unable to see the truth of what was shown to you. These sudden shifts are not arbitrary, they are deliberate, and by learning to recognize these patterns, you'll begin to understand the underlying messages that are being revealed. You might feel an intense surge of energy that carries you through the day, only to be followed by a day of complete and total exhaustion, as if the universe is pushing and pulling you, forcing you to surrender to the process. The emotional connections that feel deep and true may suddenly shift to isolation and loneliness, as if you've been disconnected from the world around you. This is not meant to confuse you, but to expose the very core of your deepest truths if you are willing to look. It's time to ask yourself, what have you accepted as truth that might actually be an illusion? The retrograde is challenging everything you have used to define yourself, from your personal beliefs to your relationships to even the habits you have allowed to take root in your life. Are you constantly seeking validation from others, allowing their opinions to dictate your worth? Is it time to recognize that you are worthy not because of what you do, but simply because you exist? Are you drawn to the same types of relationships that end up being toxic and draining, even if you know they are not good for you? Are you operating on the assumption that there is only one right way to do something, limiting your own creative possibilities? These are the illusions that are being dissolved by Neptune's retrograde, the patterns that have kept you in a state of spiritual sleep, and the discomfort you feel during this time is a necessary part of the process, a cosmic peeling away of the layers that no longer serve you. Neptune isn't tearing you apart. It's stripping away what isn't truly you so you can step more fully into who you are meant to be. For example, that job you've always thought was your calling may now feel incredibly restrictive, as if you're trapped in a cage. Or perhaps the relationship you've been clinging to may suddenly feel hollow and unfulfilling, as if you're trying to fill an empty hole with false promises. Maybe the way you've always seen yourself is now being challenged by an entirely new identity. The fog of Neptune is not a prison, it is a dissolving process of what no longer serves your highest self. It's meant to create room for an authentic vision to come to light, but it is your decision whether or not you want to see it. But this retrograde is not just about dissolving illusions, it is also about revealing truths, as if Neptune is acting as a cosmic mirror, reflecting back to you the hidden aspects of yourself and your life. What are you ready to see, and what are you willing to look at? These truths might be uncomfortable to face, but they are essential for your spiritual progress and will offer both freedom and discomfort in equal measure. You will not like everything you see, but you must face it if you are ready to move into a state of alignment. This could mean acknowledging the toxic behaviors you've been exhibiting in your relationships, or admitting to yourself that the path you've been on is not the one you truly desire. Maybe you'll finally have to face the parts of yourself that you've been in denial about, the weaknesses, the fears, the aspects of your personality that you've been trying to hide, and those will rise to the surface, making it impossible to ignore. This process is not meant to punish you, it is meant to empower you. The recognition of these truths is not the end, but the beginning of your healing. You are not being judged. You are being offered a chance to step into the light of your authentic self, but first you have to face the shadows that you've been avoiding. Don't shy away from the uncomfortable feelings, lean into them, observe them, and recognize them for what they are, a catalyst for profound change. The signs that you have been seeing up until this point are becoming more complex, layering into what could be called dual signatures. The patterns might seem contradictory, confusing you with mixed emotions, seemingly good and bad feelings, and making it difficult to see what direction to go or understand the messages that are being communicated to you. You may experience an intuitive insight that feels incredibly empowering one moment, only to be completely overwhelmed by fear and self-doubt the next. Or you might notice synchronicities that seem to be leading you in two completely different directions, as if the universe is playing a game with you or is trying to confuse you. These patterns of duality are not coincidences, they are specific messages from the cosmos that you must begin to understand. Recognize them and use them as a guide to explore the deeper meanings that are hidden beneath the surface. This back and forth is not meant to discourage you. It is designed to help you see the different facets of truth, offering a more comprehensive understanding of the reality that is unfolding. The universe is not simple, and neither is your journey. Embrace the complexity and know that it is leading you to a more complete understanding of the truth. This push and pull isn't an obstacle, it is the path itself. Now let's move from the theoretical to the practical. As the veil between worlds continues to thin, the potential for spiritual encounters is greatly increasing, creating a much more intense experience for you, and this is something that will require both an open mind and a guarded heart. What was once hidden will now be brought to light, and what was familiar may now become obscured, shifting the way you view yourself and your world. The line between this reality and the next is disappearing, and this is not something to be feared, but to be understood. You may begin to feel a presence around you, a sense that you are not alone, and you might even begin to see shadowy figures lurking at the edge of your vision, or have vivid dreams that are so real that they feel as if you've been pulled into another dimension. You might begin to sense that you are being communicated to by spiritual guides, or even have a feeling of being watched. These encounters are not simply the products of an overactive imagination, they are real interactions with the spiritual dimension, and not all of them will be comfortable. Some of them will be, and some of them will be incredibly challenging, testing both your understanding and courage. The key to this time period is both to be open and to be discerning. Not all energies are positive. It is essential to begin to learn how to interpret the messages you are receiving from these spiritual encounters, because they are not always clear, and they might be hidden in subtle symbols, number sequences, or even within your dreams. What you see might not be the same as what someone else sees. The language of the universe speaks directly to you. It is your job to listen and to understand. Pay attention to the patterns that emerge. Are you seeing repeating numbers? Have you seen the same animal multiple times? Have you had dreams that are so vivid and real they feel as if you were actually there? These are not random occurrences. They are messages specifically tailored to your spiritual journey, and they are meant to guide you on your path. These messages, while sometimes comforting, can also be challenging, raising questions that require further exploration. You might receive a message that asks you to step outside your comfort zone or to confront the parts of yourself that you have been hiding away, and these messages might make you question the very fabric of reality. Know that this is part of the process, that the more intense the message, the more it needs to be understood. The universe is not trying to trick you, it is trying to communicate with you, but it is not always going to be easy. When dealing with these energies and entities, it's essential to practice discernment, because not all that glitters is gold, and the spiritual dimension also has its own shadows. Not all entities have positive intentions, and it is crucial that you know how to protect yourself. This means engaging in spiritual practices that will help you discern between helpful guides and malevolent influences, and it means using discernment when interacting with both people and energies. Develop a practice of spiritual protection and learn to set boundaries, because this is not just a time to be open, but also to be very, very careful. You must learn to use both your heart and your mind during this process, and not just your feelings. This dual approach is critical to making the best choices and for the best outcomes for yourself. The need to balance this openness with caution is paramount, because the spiritual realm is just as complex as the physical one, and it can be just as dangerous if you do not pay attention. Be open but be aware, and use your intuition as your primary compass during these encounters. Your intuition is the best guide during this period, but it doesn't mean that it's infallible. The messages that you are receiving must be examined, explored, and integrated into your understanding of the world around you. The universe communicates in mysterious ways, and it might not be clear initially. Your intuition is a muscle that must be exercised to fully develop, which means you must trust it, but you also must analyze it. Be curious, not judgmental, and use self-reflection to validate your insights. Journal your experiences, meditate on the messages, and allow yourself to simply be in the moment, observing the patterns that emerge. Use this time to deepen your own understanding of yourself and allow the messages to guide you without having to control them. Develop a system of discernment that is not based on fear or paranoia, but on a clear connection to your own inner wisdom. The more that you trust your intuition, the easier it will become to understand the path that you are being shown, and the faster you will move forward on your journey. The universe is not hiding anything from you, it is inviting you to participate, but you have to be an active listener, both to yourself and to what is around you. Now it's time to move from passive observation to active engagement. The universe is providing a pathway for growth, but it's not going to do the work for you. You must take responsibility for your own experience and be an active participant in this transformation. What are you going to do about what you have learned? You've been given a map, but it's your responsibility to take the steps. This isn't about waiting for something to happen to you. It's about intentionally co-creating your reality and making a choice to step into your authentic power. The retrograde's power isn't just something that is happening to you. It is something that is happening within you and that you have the power to influence. The universe will offer guidance, but it is your actions that will determine the outcome. The shifts that you have been experiencing up until now are designed to force you to wake up, but the path that you choose from this moment on will determine the very nature of your future. What was once something you observed is now something you will need to engage with directly. What was happening passively must now become active. It's time to actively release those old patterns, those habits, and those beliefs that no longer align with your authentic self. What are you ready to leave behind? What are you still holding on to that needs to be released? Fear, doubt, unhealthy relationships, limiting beliefs, these are the chains that keep you trapped in a cycle of spiritual stagnation, and these chains can only be broken by your own action. Use this time to make a decision, to choose to leave them behind. For instance, if you know that you have been holding on to old resentments, use this time to forgive, not just the other person, but yourself. If you are feeling trapped by your own limited beliefs, this is the time to challenge them, to write them down, and to set them on fire. Visualize yourself cutting the cords that are tying you to the past, letting the old patterns slip away, as if they were just old clothes you had been wearing and you have finally outgrown them. The act of releasing is not just about getting rid of something, it is about making room for new growth, for new opportunities, and for new possibilities to be brought into your life. This process of release can feel uncomfortable and challenging, but it is absolutely necessary if you want to step into your truth. Forgiveness, both of others and of yourself, is a key element in navigating this time period. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. What you don't forgive, you will have to relive. You are only hurting yourself by choosing to hold on to these negative energies, these stories, these wounds of the past. Let them go and step into freedom. Recognize that you have also made mistakes, that you have also hurt people, and that the process of forgiving both yourself and others is an essential component of spiritual growth. Be kind to yourself during this process and understand that self-acceptance is crucial for your journey. The flaws that you think define you are simply aspects of your human experience, and they are part of your unique journey, and they are not meant to be hidden away. The more that you are able to accept yourself for who you are, the more that you will be able to embrace your own true path. You are not broken, you are on your way to being whole. This is an essential element of your transformation. The signs that you have been seeing are no longer just about recognizing the duality, they are now also about providing you with a direction. The choices that you make right now will determine your path, and these choices will not always be obvious. Your choices will determine the very nature of your spiritual growth and your progress, and understand that not choosing is also a choice. You are not a leaf that is being blown by the wind, but an active participant in this process. You have the power to direct your energy and to create your own destiny. Pay attention to the messages, trust your intuition, and be willing to step into the unknown. The path is not always going to be clear, but you will be given the signs that you need to move forward. The universe is not leaving you stranded. It is guiding you every step of the way, but it is your choice whether or not to follow. This is an active process, and you are not simply a passenger on this ride. You are the driver, and it is your turn to take the wheel. What direction will you choose? The future is not set in stone, but it is shaped by your choices, and now is the time to begin to choose wisely. The more that you choose with intention, the more clearly your path will become. This retrograde, with all of its intensity, is ultimately designed to be a catalyst for positive spiritual growth. This is a spring cleaning of the soul, a time for releasing what no longer serves you and creating space for what is truly meant for you. You may feel like you are being pushed to your limits, but you are more resilient than you think, and you will emerge from this time stronger, more aligned with your purpose, and ready to embrace your true potential. What you are experiencing right now is temporary. The intense energy will eventually settle, and the shifts that you are making are setting up a lifetime of abundance, if you are willing to continue on the path that has been shown to you. This is not meant to break you, it is meant to empower you, so take that power and use it. The discomfort that you are experiencing is necessary for your growth, but it is not a final destination. There is more to come, and you are more ready than you think. This entire process is meant to help you step into your authenticity. This is a chance to finally be yourself, without having to hide, without having to pretend, without having to seek validation from the world outside. You are meant to live authentically, to honor your unique spiritual path, and to be true to your own internal compass. This is not just a one-time event, it is a journey that will last your entire life, and it is not going to be easy. You will be constantly challenged to step into your truth, and this experience will show you that the path forward is to just be yourself, and to allow your unique personality to shine. Embrace your individuality, honor your own unique perspectives, and know that you are meant to be exactly who you are. There is no other person who can do what you are here to do, so step into your power and let that light shine. You are not here by accident. You have been chosen to carry this knowledge and to walk this path, and you are ready to take the next steps. You are more powerful than you think, and you have been given the tools to navigate the road ahead. The messages that you have received, the patterns that you have recognized, the challenges that you have faced, and the choices that you have made have all been leading to this moment. Step into your unique calling and let your own light illuminate the way, and remember that you are not alone. You are part of a larger tapestry, woven with other souls who are also answering the call. The universe is watching, and it is cheering you on. So thank you for your continued engagement. for walking this path with me, and know that this journey has only just begun. The more you explore, the more you'll discover. Remember that every choice you make, every step you take, is contributing to your transformation and the process of your becoming. As you move forward, keep observing and keep listening. If you want more guidance, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your experiences in the comments below. This is a journey, and we're all in this together. There will be more opportunities to explore, more insights to uncover, and more challenges to overcome, but know that you are ready. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more guidance as you continue to move along this path. The dualities that you've been experiencing are not just fleeting moments of confusion. They are the very essence of this retrograde, and they are designed to show you the many layers of your reality. The way this energy works is not in a single direction, but in waves of highs and lows, pulling you between opposing forces as if you're caught in a cosmic tug-of-war. In your relationships, you might find one day that you feel an incredibly deep connection with your partner, as if you've finally found your soulmate, and the very next day you may find yourselves arguing over the smallest things, as if you can't even stand being in the same room. Or perhaps at work, you have a moment of feeling incredibly empowered, as if you've finally found your purpose, only to be immediately followed by crippling self-doubt, wondering if you're even qualified to do your job. In your family life, you may have moments of feeling a profound sense of love and connection, followed by an overwhelming feeling of isolation, as if you're an outsider looking in. And even within yourself, you might experience moments of intense self-love and acceptance, followed immediately by waves of self-loathing and criticism, as if you're your own worst enemy. These dramatic shifts are not arbitrary. They are a reflection of the illusions that are dissolving, exposing both the beauty and the ugliness that exist within and around you. The good is not inherently good, and the bad is not inherently bad. They are simply showing you both sides of the coin and asking you to see them without judgment and to understand that they are both necessary parts of your experience. Remember, this is a journey of integration and not of denial. These dualities are also manifesting as internal battles, and these will play out within your very being, as your emotions seem to be taking you on a roller coaster of highs and lows. You might wake up feeling energized, ready to take on the world, only to be completely drained by mid-afternoon, as if your very life force is being depleted by an unseen force. You may have sudden waves of sadness, washing over you unexpectedly for no reason that you can discern, or you may find yourself feeling incredibly irritable, snapping at the people you love, as if you can't control your emotions. Your perceptions will also seem to shift on a moment-to-moment basis, making it hard to even understand what is real or what is imagined. What you thought was a clear situation might suddenly appear completely different, like looking at the same scene through different lenses. What you thought was a secure path may suddenly seem like a dead end, as if the map has been torn up and scattered into the wind. What you thought was true may suddenly appear to be a lie, shaking the very foundations of your understanding, but it is only through the shaking of the foundation that the new one can be built. It is like a building going through a remodel. It has to be torn down before it can be built back up again. Know that these are not isolated incidents, but interconnected elements of a bigger picture that is being unveiled to you piece by piece. These seemingly random shifts are directly linked to the retrograde, and as you begin to see how they are connected, you will be able to understand the message they are carrying. The key is not to fight them, but to observe them with curiosity and to explore them with openness. These experiences, while intense, are also showing you the illusion that is being dissolved by the retrograde. The dualities, while seeming to be opposites, are actually part of the same continuum, and the seeming separation is the very illusion that is being shown to you. When you see both the high and the low, the good and the bad, the beautiful and the ugly, you are actually seeing the full spectrum of your reality, as if the universe is giving you a backstage pass to your life. For example, the relationship that you see as perfect and without any flaws might be covering up deeper issues that you have not been willing to face. Or the career that you think is your dream job may be masking a deeper need for creative expression that you have been denying to yourself. Your intense self-criticism is really a projection of the love you deny to yourself, and your seemingly random sadness might be a release of emotions that you have been holding onto for too long. Each duality is showing you the truth that is hidden beneath the surface, as if the universe is saying, look at this, and then look at that, and you will see the full picture. The duality is the reveal. The push and pull is meant to help you see the whole truth, and as you begin to understand these concepts, you will be able to navigate this retrograde more effectively and use the reveal for your greatest good. There is no longer just one side of the story. You are seeing both at the same time, and you must learn to hold both in your awareness. As the lines between illusion and reality continue to blur, it's crucial to develop specific strategies to navigate these unclear waters, or you may find yourself being swept away by the current. You cannot simply float along. You must have a specific process to engage and a process to discern. How do you know what is real? How can you tell what is a message and what is just noise? The key is to start by pausing and reflecting, because in the midst of chaos, clarity is found in stillness and not in the swirling vortex of confusion. When you find yourself in a moment of extreme emotion, whether it's an intense high or a devastating low, take a breath and center yourself before you take any actions or make any decisions. Don't let your emotions carry you away. Take a few minutes to write down what you are experiencing, why you think you are feeling that way, and what the messages might be, which is an essential first step in understanding. Writing brings the subconscious into consciousness, and it will begin to make the patterns much clearer. This process is not meant to be rushed, but is a specific, conscious act of engagement. For example, if you suddenly find yourself feeling incredibly angry, write it down. What triggered it? What are the deeper feelings that are being brought up? Are they connected to the past? Are they connected to patterns you have seen before? These questions will begin to reveal the answers, and the answers will start to show you the direction you need to take. The most important part of navigating the illusion is to learn how to test your perceptions and assumptions, and not simply accept things at face value. What you assume to be true may not be. When you have strong feelings about something, whether it's a relationship, a situation, or even a thought, ask yourself, is this really true, or is this just my perception of the truth? It is not just enough to say this to yourself, but to actively investigate it. Can you see this from a different angle? Can you look at it from a different point of view? What would someone else think if they were looking at the same thing? The key is not to dismiss your feelings, but to examine them with curiosity and without judgment. Meditation is also an incredible tool to navigate the illusion of Neptune's retrograde, not just as a theoretical concept, but as an active tool for personal discovery. By quieting your mind, you will be able to hear the whispers of your own inner wisdom and the messages that you are receiving from the universe. When you're visualizing, don't just see the images, engage with them. Step into the scene and see what it feels like, what it smells like, and listen to the sounds around you as if you are truly there. What is the underlying message of the image that you are being shown? Are there any symbols that stand out to you? And if so, what do they mean to you? Connecting with others who you trust and that you resonate with is also a crucial aspect of navigation. When you share your experiences, you're not only processing your own reality, you are also gaining a broader perspective that you might have missed. What you may see as completely normal may be incredibly obvious to someone else, and when you engage with others, you are given multiple ways of seeing the world. It's vital to remember that under the influence of Neptune's retrograde, your judgment may be clouded, and not everything is what it seems, which is why it's absolutely critical to pause before making any major decisions, especially the ones that come from a place of extreme emotion. You might find yourself wanting to make radical life changes, leaving your job, ending relationships, or moving to another state. But before you take those steps, you must make sure that these actions are based on clarity and not just a reaction to the current energies. Do you feel a sense of alignment and truth, or does it come from a place of reaction? Ask yourself, what will the long-term consequences be? Are you doing this from a place of growth or from a place of pain? If you feel a pull to act, give yourself some time and do not rush into anything. If the message is true, it will continue to be there, even when the fog starts to clear. Develop a specific process of assessment and implement it every single time, even if you think you don't need it. This process is as important as the choice itself and will help you to create a more stable foundation from which to grow. You're not just observing this process, you are actively shaping it. Now let's turn our attention to the spiritual encounters that are becoming more frequent and intense during this time. As the veil thins, you're not just sensing vague energies, you're potentially encountering specific entities or energies, and these encounters are unique to you. These could include spiritual guides, who might appear as benevolent figures offering wisdom and support, or as beings of light, gently nudging you towards your true path. Or they could be seen as ancestral spirits, coming to offer you messages from the past, offering you insight into your family lineage, and giving you direction for the future. The nature of these encounters are incredibly personal, and it is your job to learn how to understand the language and how they are choosing to communicate with you. For example, you might see a specific animal repeatedly that shows up in your dreams and in real life as if it is following you. Or you might start to hear music that seems to have a specific pattern or tempo, or you might see specific symbols appearing in your meditations. If you have an open mind and an open heart, you may start to notice very specific things that are unique to you and that are trying to communicate a very particular message that you, and only you, are meant to hear, and that is the key to understanding. Pay attention to the details, because the details are where the messages are hiding. Your spiritual guides are not going to appear to you as they might in a movie. They are much more subtle, much more gentle, and much more personal. They may communicate through thoughts, feelings, or visions that arise within you, as if the message is coming directly from your heart. They are not going to shout the message. They are going to whisper it to you. The guidance might come as a sudden insight, as if a light bulb has gone off in your head, or it might come as a feeling of profound peace and knowing, washing over your entire being, or it might come as a dream that is so vivid and real that it feels like you actually experienced it. These messages will be tailored to your unique journey, and they will always be in alignment with your highest good. The key is to trust your intuition and to have an open mind and an open heart, because your intuition is the key to discerning these messages, as if the language is coded just for you. For example, if you keep thinking about moving to another country, even if you have no logical reason to do so, pay attention to that message. Or, if you keep having dreams about your grandmother, try to understand what messages she might be trying to communicate to you from beyond the veil. These messages are specific to you, and you will know them when you hear them. However, not all encounters are positive, as there are also shadow figures and lower vibrational energies that may attempt to influence you, and this can be incredibly challenging to navigate if you do not know what you are doing. These energies are not trying to harm you directly, but they can feed off of your fear, and they will try to manipulate your emotions and twist your perceptions so that you start to believe that they have your best interests at heart. They might show up as dark figures in your dreams or as unsettling feelings of anxiety or dread that seem to have no logical basis. They may try to create chaos in your relationships, or they may try to undermine your confidence as if they have chosen you as a target. The key is not to engage with these energies, but to hold your boundaries and to recognize them for what they are, low vibrational forces that are trying to feed off of your energy, and it is your job to protect yourself from them. Use spiritual protection methods and be very clear that they are not welcome. Imagine a shield of light around you, protecting you from all negative forces, and do not allow them to take root in your consciousness. Do not let them distract you or sway you off of your path. These experiences are just as real as the good ones, and they are teaching you how to hold your power. The ability to discern the messages you're receiving, both from yourself and from the spiritual dimension, is one of the key elements of this journey. This is a crucial skill and not a passive activity, and you must be an active participant in the interpretation process to truly validate what is real and what is not. Your intuition is a powerful guide, but it must be combined with intellect so that you are making the best choices and are not blindly following something that might be harmful for you. You must become your own guide, your own teacher, and you must be prepared to both see the light and the shadow, because they are both parts of the same process. When you feel a strong pull to do something, ask yourself, is this coming from a place of love and alignment, or is it coming from a place of fear and insecurity? Is this in alignment with my values? Is it for my highest good? Do not be afraid to question what you are being told, whether it comes from your intuition, from your dreams, or from a spiritual guide. Do not blindly follow. You must be discerning at all times. One of the best methods to test the validity of your spiritual encounters is to journal your experiences, as if you are making a record of your life, which will reveal the patterns that are trying to communicate with you. Write down the details of your dreams, the synchronicities you are experiencing, and the feelings you are having, as if you are painting a picture of your journey. Look at the patterns that are emerging and try to understand what they are trying to tell you. Meditation can also bring a sense of clarity, allowing you to tune into your own inner wisdom to give you a sense of stability in the midst of the chaos. When you meditate, don't just observe your thoughts. Dive into them and ask why they are there. What are they trying to communicate to you? Connecting with trusted sources, like spiritual mentors or friends, can also provide valuable feedback, as long as they are not trying to take your power away from you. Share your experiences, listen to their perspectives, but always trust your own inner guidance, because your intuition is always the key to unlocking the mystery. Remember, it is your responsibility to understand your own experience, and that others can provide insights, but you must not rely on them to tell you what is true for you. Validation comes from within, and it is your own responsibility. It is vital to understand that not all spiritual experiences are benevolent, and that you must always use both your intuition and intellect to navigate them safely. There are energies that thrive on chaos, and they will attempt to manipulate your emotions, and they will even try to twist your perception of reality. You must be prepared to hold your boundaries and to protect yourself energetically. This process will not always be easy, because you might be challenged, you might be hurt, and you might have to face your own fears, but the more that you do it, the stronger your will become. If you have a feeling that an encounter feels wrong, trust that feeling. Do not try to talk yourself out of it. If you sense that an entity is trying to manipulate you, be very clear that you are not available. Do not engage in a debate, simply shut them down. The key is to be both open and discerning, to have the wisdom of the heart and the mind, and to trust that your intuition will always lead you in the right direction if you allow it to. The spiritual dimension is not a place of blind faith, but a place of active participation and a place of responsibility, and you must be prepared to engage. Now, let's shift our focus from observation to action, because it's time to take control of your own narrative. The retrograde is providing a framework for change, but it's not going to make the choices for you. It is your responsibility to shape your experiences and to be an active participant in this transformation. You are not simply a passive observer, you are a powerful creator, and you must choose to embrace that power. The universe is giving you the pieces, but you must be the one to put them together. You are not being tossed about by the tides, you are the one that gets to set the sails and steer the ship, so you must learn to take control. The more that you do, the more you will understand the importance of self-responsibility. A core aspect of your responsibility is managing your own energy and learning how to protect yourself from outside forces. Just like your body needs regular hygiene, so does your energetic field, as they are both aspects of the same system. You must develop a consistent practice of energetic hygiene, and that must be an active process that you take part in daily. This means actively clearing away stagnant energy, grounding yourself in the present moment, and protecting your field from anything that might try to drain your energy. For example, you can do a daily practice of visualization where you see a white light surrounding you, creating a bubble of protection that no negativity can penetrate. You can also take regular salt baths, which are incredibly effective at clearing away negative energy. Or you can spend time in nature, grounding yourself by feeling the earth beneath your feet. The key is to find what works for you and to create a routine that you can stick to, because this is not something you do once, it is something that you have to engage with daily. You can also use crystals, essential oils, or even music that helps to clear and balance your energy. The important thing is to take responsibility for your own field and not allow external forces to deplete you of your own power, because this is your responsibility. The insights you have gained thus far must now be used to make intentional choices that support your spiritual growth and not just be theoretical concepts that you are thinking about. What are you going to do with this information? How will you use it to make a positive change in your life? This is where the rubber meets the road and where you step into your true power. For example, if you've been having dreams about changing careers, take some steps towards researching different opportunities. If you've been seeing repeated patterns in your relationships, start to communicate what you want and need. If you've been feeling called to explore a spiritual practice, start today. Each choice that you make must be an intentional action that will move you forward on your path. The retrograde is not about waiting for something to happen. It is about taking action, making conscious decisions, and stepping into the reality that you have chosen for yourself. And the more that you make these choices, the clearer your path will become. The universe is not just watching, it is assisting, but you are the one that must take the steps. Now, let's get even more specific. To truly move forward, you must actively release those old patterns and illusions, and this is not just about thinking about them, it is about engaging in a very active process. The patterns that you hold are not fixed, they are simply habits, and if you understand that, they can be changed. The process of release must include an intention, visualization, and also a symbolic act. To begin, write down all the things that you are ready to release, all the old stories, the limiting beliefs, the toxic habits, and the patterns of negative relationships, as if you are making an itemized list. Then, set the intention that you are ready to let them go, and that you are ready to move forward without having to bring them with you. Imagine yourself cutting the cords that tie you to these old patterns, as if you are physically severing all the connections that are holding you back. Visualize all of these things floating away from you, as if they are being taken by the wind into the light, so that they can be transformed. This is not a one-time thing, but something that you may need to practice over and over until they no longer have any hold over you. This should be done with deep emotion, as you are releasing pieces of the past. As you release your patterns of limiting beliefs, recognize that they are not your own and that they do not belong to you. For example, if you have a belief that you're not good enough, question where that belief came from and understand that it is not true. It is just a story you have told yourself, and if you have created it, you can also uncreate it. When you see yourself falling into the same old patterns of self-sabotage, recognize it and say no more, and then actively choose to make a different choice. And each time that you choose a new choice, the power of the old choice will weaken. Or if you find yourself engaging in toxic relationship dynamics, set a boundary and say, I will no longer participate in this, and then actively disengage from those patterns, and if you can, disengage from the relationship as well. Each time that you disengage from the old patterns, you are creating space for new ones to come into your life, and each time that you do, the new path will become much clearer. You are not stuck, but you are always free to choose a different direction. This process of releasing your old patterns will only work if you create space for new experiences so that they can begin to flourish. This must be a conscious act, not just something you hope happens, and you must be an active participant. Your heart is a garden that must be attended to daily, and if you do not pull up the weeds, there will be no space for the flowers to grow. If you choose to do nothing, that is also a choice, and then the weeds of the past will continue to choke out any potential for growth, which is why it is essential to always be moving forward. Use your intention, your visualization, and the symbolic actions to clear the way so that you can begin to experience the things that you are meant to experience. This is a constant process and not a one-time event, and each time that you do, you are creating more space for your authentic self. It is not about perfection, but about progress. Forgiveness is one of the most important steps in releasing old patterns, and it is an essential part of the process of creating spiritual liberation. The process of forgiveness will release you from the bonds of the past and allow you to finally move forward unburdened by any wounds that you have been carrying. You must forgive yourself for the mistakes that you have made, for the choices that you have made, and for all the times that you have hurt others and have also hurt yourself. You must forgive others for the ways that they have hurt you, as if you are cutting the cords that tie you to that experience. The more that you forgive, the lighter you will feel, and the clearer your path will become, because holding on to that which you have not forgiven is like carrying a backpack full of rocks. Forgiveness is not just about releasing the other person, it is about releasing yourself, because you can only be truly free when you release the past. Forgiveness does not mean that you are condoning the actions of another. It simply means that you are releasing yourself from the prison of resentment. You must forgive not because the other person deserves forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom from the bonds of the past. When you forgive, you are not erasing what happened, but you are transforming its power over you. When you choose to forgive, you are reclaiming your power and choosing to step into your own authentic path, and this should be treated like a personal ceremony. You can use a visualization practice where you imagine yourself forgiving the other person and releasing them with love. You can write a letter to the people who have hurt you, not to give to them, but to release your feelings and to let go of the past. You can create a personal ritual of release, where you symbolically let go of the pain you have been carrying, and you can do whatever feels right for you, but the key is to actively choose to forgive. You do not have to wait for someone to ask for forgiveness, but you can release yourself, and you can release them with love, because this process is about your own freedom. Now let's explore the idea of trajectory. The choices you make during this time period are not isolated events. They create a trajectory that determines the course of your spiritual growth. Each action you take is like a brushstroke on the canvas of your life, shaping your future and creating the very path that you will travel. This means that small daily decisions are just as important as the big life-altering choices, and each time that you choose, you are either moving yourself closer to your authentic self or further away. You must be conscious of your choices, because you are the one that is creating your reality. Every thought, every feeling, and every action is creating a wave of energy that will ripple out into your future, so choose wisely. Your choices are not random, they are shaping your destiny. The decisions that you make are a conscious choice, not just an action taken without thought. When you find yourself at a crossroads and are unsure which way to go, ask yourself, which path is aligned with my true purpose? Which path is calling me towards my greatest potential? These questions will help you make choices that support your growth and help you to stay true to your unique path. Do not let the opinions of others sway you off course, and remember that your intuition will always guide you if you listen to it. It is not always going to be easy, and it may even be scary at times, but you must have the courage to follow your own heart and to trust that the path will always reveal itself to you if you are willing to take the step. This is not something that is happening to you, but something that is happening through you, and when you recognize that, you will begin to truly understand the power that you hold. You are not simply reacting to the world, you are actively creating it. You are not just a passive observer, you are an active participant in the creation of your own spiritual path. The universe is not doing this to you, but it is doing this with you, and you are the one that gets to steer your ship towards the destination that you have chosen for yourself. You are not a leaf being blown by the wind, but the captain of your own ship, and it is time for you to take control of the wheel. You are not an accident, you are here by design, and that design is perfect. The universe is guiding you, but it is your own actions that will determine the direction, so choose wisely and do so with intention, knowing that you have the power to create your own reality. Your journey is not something that is happening to you, but something that you are co-creating with the universe. Now that we have explored the intensity of this retrograde, let's shift our focus to the positive future that awaits you. This retrograde is not meant to be something that you simply survive, but an experience that empowers you. You may have felt like you were being pushed to your limits, but know that you are far more resilient than you think. You have the strength, the wisdom, and the courage to embrace all that you have learned, and to create a future that is filled with love, peace, and abundance. The discomfort is temporary, and it will pass, but the lessons you have learned and the choices that you have made will stay with you for the rest of your life, shaping you and forming you. You are not being broken, you are being rebuilt. This is not just a cleansing, but a rebirth. You are being set up for a future where you are more aligned with your purpose and more connected with your own authentic self. You are emerging from this time period with a greater sense of clarity, a deeper understanding of your own spiritual path, and the strength to embrace your true potential. The retrograde was not a punishment, but a powerful catalyst for change, and you have been given a unique opportunity to step into your power. The choices you have made up until now will all begin to come into focus, and all of the pieces of the puzzle will start to fit together, because you have been guided every step of the way, even when you have been unable to see it. The universe is always in your favor and is always on your side, even when it feels like it is not, and that is something to remember. Remember that you are meant for more, and you are here for a reason, and that reason is unique to you. You have a very specific calling, a very specific path, and a very specific purpose, and you are ready to step into it. You are not like most people. You are a lightworker, you are an empath, you are a healer, and you are here to make a difference. This retrograde is a gift. It is not an obstacle, and it was designed specifically for you. You have learned, you have grown, and you have evolved, and you are ready for the next step. The path has been revealed, and you are ready to walk it. You are not being asked to stay in the shadows. It is time for you to step into the light. You are not just witnessing your transformation, you are actively participating in the making of it, and that is something to be honored. You have experienced things that most people could not even imagine, and you have the wisdom, the resilience, and the clarity to not only navigate them, but to use them for your highest good, and that is something to be recognized. You have grown, you have evolved, you have transformed, and you have stepped fully into your own authentic power. You are a beacon of light, and you are ready to shine. You are not the same person that you were before this retrograde began, and you never will be again. This is not the end, it is simply the beginning of the next phase of your journey. This path that you are on is not a solo one, but a shared experience, and we are all in this together. I want to thank you again for your continued engagement, for your presence here, and for the fact that you are choosing to walk this path with me and the community that we are creating. Remember that the more that you explore, the more that you will discover, and the more that you connect with each other, the stronger we will all become. If you feel guided to do so, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your experiences in the comments below, as the act of sharing will not only help you, but it will also help others who are on this same path. There is immense power in shared knowledge and in shared experiences, and it is a way to give back to the community. This is not simply about self-growth, but also about the growth of the collective, and each time that you share, you are making the world a better place. Know that your journey is not over, that it has only just begun, and that the next part of your spiritual path has already begun. You have been given the tools, you have gained the wisdom, and you have walked through the fire, and now you are ready for the next stage of your journey, so embrace it, and know that you are ready. I look forward to connecting with you in the future and exploring all of the many paths that are laid out before you. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more guidance as you continue to move forward on this path. As we delve deeper into the energies of this Neptune retrograde, it's time to acknowledge that what you've been experiencing on an emotional and physical level is about to intensify, and these will not be subtle nudges but undeniable forces that are designed to bring your attention to what is being dissolved. You're not just sensing a shift. You're feeling it in your bones, in the very rhythm of your heart, and in the way your body is interacting with the world around you, as if the very cells within you are responding to the shifts. Have you noticed an increased sensitivity to light and sound, where normal levels seem overwhelming, and your senses feel like they are being pushed to their absolute limits? Perhaps you've experienced sudden waves of heat or cold, flushing through your body without any obvious cause, making you question if you are even in control of your own physical vessel. Your sleep patterns might be completely disrupted, with either extreme lethargy that keeps you glued to the bed, or you might find that you're wide awake for hours, your mind racing with thoughts you can't seem to quiet. These experiences are not just random occurrences. They are the direct result of the retrograde's energy interacting with your physical body, using your very being to communicate the lessons you are meant to understand. You might find yourself in an intense state of joy one moment, feeling a connection to all things, only to be plunged into deep despair the next, without any obvious reason. Irrational fears might surface, haunting you as if they are now coming into the physical realm and testing you on your resolve. If you are ignoring these messages, they will only continue to grow louder until you can no longer deny them. So now is the time to pay attention. What have you felt in the last few days? Has there been an increase in these types of experiences? This is not about theory, but about the very real way that your body and mind are reacting to the dissolving illusions, as if they are acting as a compass, showing you what you need to explore. Your body is not just a container for your soul. It is also a very active way that the universe is speaking to you, and now is the time to listen. Adding another layer to this complex process is the unpredictable nature of the retrograde and how it is now causing drastic shifts in your perception of reality, leading to a sense of disorientation, as if the ground beneath your feet is no longer solid. You might start to feel like your surroundings are changing, morphing into something unfamiliar, as if the very world you are living in is starting to lose its solid foundation. People you know might start to act completely out of character, saying or doing things that don't make any logical sense, as if the fabric of reality is being stretched beyond its limits and is showing its seams. Focusing on normal tasks might become impossible as you keep losing focus, your attention scattered like dust in the wind, and your ability to concentrate seems to have vanished into thin air. You might experience a distortion of time and space, with moments feeling like an eternity or days blurring into one another, as if time itself is no longer moving in a linear direction. It's as if the universe is saying, things are not what they seem, and that you must be prepared to question everything that you believe. These experiences are not meant to be easy. They are meant to push you beyond your comfort zone and to challenge your assumptions about the very nature of your own existence. This is not a sign of instability, but an invitation to step outside of the confines of the easy narrative and to see past the surface of things so that you can truly understand the deeper messages that the universe is trying to communicate. For example, on the 12th of this month, when Uranus squares Mercury, there will be a collective feeling of disorientation, not just with you, but on a global level, as the very nature of what we believe as real will be challenged in a way that has not been seen before. It's essential that you are ready for these shifts, not with fear, but with an open heart and a clear mind. The messages are not just coming through your physical experiences or your perception of the world. They're also coming directly from your subconscious, through the very vivid dreams that you are now experiencing. And it is through these dreams that you can see the deeper layers that are being revealed to you. During this retrograde, your dreams will act as direct communication from your subconscious, offering specific insights into the illusions and truths that you are grappling with, as if you are being given a private conversation with your own soul. your subconscious is not just a storehouse of memories. It's also a very powerful connection to the spiritual dimension, a gateway to the unseen, and a portal into the depths of your own unconscious mind. In the language of dreams, nothing is random. Each symbol, each encounter, and each emotion is a piece of the puzzle that you must now put together. You might find that you are seeing recurring symbols, as if they are clues that are being left for you to discover. You could be having incredibly vivid encounters with people you know, or people that are unknown to you, as if you are being given a message directly from them. You may also experience unresolved emotional conflicts that are playing out in your dreams, as if your subconscious is processing them in a way that your conscious mind cannot. Perhaps you are seeing a specific animal, or you are experiencing a specific location. It is not enough to simply say that you are seeing this, but you must actively explore why this is showing up. Start to keep a dream journal and immediately write down everything that you can remember the moment that you wake up, because dreams are like a mist that disappears as soon as the sun comes out. Note all of the colors, the shapes, the feelings, and the encounters, and if you don't know what they mean, don't try to force an answer, but simply write down the questions that come to you. As you start to review your journal, you'll begin to see the patterns that are being created, and you'll start to understand the messages that your subconscious is trying to communicate to you. The process of journaling is more than just documenting. It is actively engaging with the spiritual messages that are being delivered to you directly. Now let's shift from the inner workings of your subconscious and focus on the spiritual realm and the heightened intensity of the encounters that you may be experiencing. Because now, more than ever, the veil is becoming increasingly thin, and the beings and energies that are coming through are growing more powerful, and they are going to require a higher level of engagement. The encounters that you have been having up until now are going to feel more intense, more real, and much more complicated, as if the spiritual world is pushing into your reality, and they require that you be fully aware of who and what you are encountering. You're not just feeling a presence, you are now engaging with specific beings or energies, and you must be prepared to discern who and what they are. These might include benevolent guides, coming to offer you wisdom and support, appearing as beings of light that are there to assist you on your journey, and they often communicate through feelings of love, peace, and clarity. You could also encounter shadow figures, those who might try to deceive or manipulate you, and these entities often communicate through fear, doubt, and confusion, and their intentions are always to separate you from your path. Or you might find yourself face to face with other forms of non-physical presences, with energies that might feel completely unfamiliar, and that may require that you engage with them from a very different perspective, and it is your job to understand the language that they are speaking to you. It is essential that you develop a heightened sense of discernment, learning to trust your intuition to determine the intentions of any spiritual entity, because not all of them are well-intentioned, and not all of them are here to help you. You must understand that the spiritual realm is not a place of only light. It also has shadows, and the more that you understand the difference, the better you will be at navigating these interactions. It's not about fear, but about empowerment, and it's about knowing your own energetic boundaries so you can engage with these realms with wisdom and clarity. Part of navigating the spiritual realm requires that you face your shadow self, those aspects of your personality that you might have been ignoring, but are now being pushed to the surface, creating inner turmoil that can be incredibly difficult to face. The retrograde energy is not about avoidance. It's about revelation, and it's about bringing those unresolved issues to the light, even when they are uncomfortable, even when they are difficult, and even when they might be painful. You may find that you are experiencing sudden anger, an emotion that seems to be coming out of nowhere, as if it is not even your own. Or you may be flooded with feelings of intense jealousy for others that seem to have what you desire, but you have been unable to access. You may even find that past traumas are bubbling to the surface, replaying those moments in vivid detail, as if they are happening again right now all as the universe is asking you to look at what you have been suppressing. These experiences are not a sign that you are regressing, they are a sign that you are healing and that you are ready to move forward. What was hidden must now come to light, and this retrograde is providing you with the support that you need to face your shadow with courage and with compassion. These are not bad parts of you. They are parts that you have not integrated into your wholeness, and now is the time to give them space to be heard. This process is very difficult, and it is going to take time, and it is going to require that you are gentle with yourself, and that you allow yourself to feel without judgment, and you must face your own darkness without the need to hide. The more that you do, the stronger you will become, and you will start to transform the darkness into light. The shadow is not meant to stay in the shadows, it is meant to be brought into the light so that it can finally be healed. For example, if you suddenly feel a surge of anger, acknowledge it and ask yourself, what is this anger trying to show me? What hidden aspects of myself need to be addressed? This is not an easy process, but it is essential, and you must do it with a willingness to see, even when that is uncomfortable. Given the intensity of these spiritual encounters and the very real presence of your shadow self, it is absolutely critical that you learn to establish and maintain healthy energetic boundaries, because your energy is your responsibility, and you must protect it from anything that might seek to take from it or to control it, and this is not an external action, but something that you must do from your internal state. Unlike physical boundaries, energetic boundaries are not about keeping people out, but about keeping your energy protected so that you can navigate this world from a place of power and not from a place of fear. This requires that you learn to create a strong energetic field that is uniquely yours, and that acts as a shield from anything that is not in alignment with your highest good. For example, you can visualize a white light surrounding you, creating a protective bubble that no negativity can penetrate. You can also create a very specific practice of meditation, where you are intentionally grounding yourself in the present moment and you are connecting with the earth. You can use grounding exercises, such as walking barefoot on the ground or connecting with the trees, to keep you rooted in your physical body, so that you are not pulled into the chaos of the spiritual realms, and you must do this every single day. You can use protective symbols or affirmations that remind you of your own inner power and that solidify your energetic shield. For example, I am surrounded by light and I am safe, or my energy is mine and I protect it from all that is not for my highest good. You must create an energetic wall that will give you the space you need to move forward with courage and with clarity. Energetic protection is not about fear. It's about taking responsibility for your own well-being. It's about respecting your energy, and it is about always maintaining your sovereignty. Now that you understand the intensity of these energies and have taken steps to protect yourself, it's time to move from awareness to active engagement and to focus on the power of intention setting and conscious creation, because the universe is waiting for you to take the reins and to actively create the life that you truly desire, because now more than ever, your choices matter. What has been done up until this point has been about observation, and the next step is about creation, because you are a co-creator with the universe, and you have the power to mold your reality. You are not simply being acted upon, you are an active participant in this process, and this means you must have a very clear vision, a very clear intention, and a very clear path. Setting your intention requires you to know what you desire, what you need, and what you are meant to create, and this must all come from your authentic self, and not a reaction to the world around you. This means that you must connect with your heart, and you must listen to what it is calling you to do, to be, and to experience. What do you want your life to look like? What kind of relationships do you want to have? What kind of work do you want to do? What kind of person do you want to be? These questions must guide your intention, and your intention must guide your actions. You must be very specific about what you want to create, and it must always be aligned with your highest good. What do you think about? What do you say? What do you visualize? And how does it make you feel? These are the keys to creation, And as you combine all of these elements, you will begin to see the reality that you are choosing to create. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are all powerful tools, and they can either create a reality that is aligned with your soul or a reality that is not, and that is your choice. As you start to consciously create your reality, it is also important to release any limiting beliefs or patterns that are holding you back, because you cannot build something new if you are still holding onto the old, and these can include self-sabotaging thoughts, negative emotions, and the toxic behaviors that have been holding you back, and it is now your job to dismantle them. These beliefs are not set in stone, they are simply stories that you have been telling yourself, and they can be changed, and you are not a victim to their hold. You have the power to transform them and to release them and to create new, empowered beliefs. To begin, identify the self-sabotaging thoughts that you are having, such as I am not good enough, or I do not deserve love, or I am not worthy of success, and then ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is it true? What is the message underneath the message? Then actively release that belief by saying, I release the belief that I am not good enough, and then replace it with an empowered belief such as I am worthy and I am enough. You can also identify patterns of negative emotions such as anger, resentment, jealousy, and then actively choose to feel something different. If you feel yourself getting angry, take a breath and choose to feel love and compassion instead. You must replace old habits with new ones because the old ones are still there. When you are choosing new feelings or new behaviors, visualize the new reality that you desire as if you are already living it. Feel the joy, the peace, and the abundance that you are creating. And when you do, your reality will begin to follow your lead. The ultimate goal of this retrograde is to help you step fully into your authenticity, to let go of all the masks, all of the stories, and all of the things that you thought that you should be, and to step into the truth of who you actually are. It's about remembering your unique path, your unique purpose, and your unique calling, and the most important part is that you are the only one who can define this path. You are not meant to be a copy of someone else. You are meant to be your own unique expression of the divine. This entire experience has been designed to guide you towards your truth, towards your heart, and towards your authentic self. And it is through this process that you can finally understand the true power of who you are and why you are here. You are the chosen one for your unique path, and no one else can walk that journey for you. You must honor yourself, and you must respect your own process, because the universe is guiding you. Your experiences have not been random, they are all steps on your own spiritual path, and they have brought you to this moment, exactly as you are supposed to be. Now you can understand the power that you have always had, the wisdom that you have always carried, and the potential that you have always held. It is time for you to step into your light and to allow your authenticity to shine. This is not the end. It is the beginning of something even more magical, and you must be ready. And now, as we start to transition into the next phase of this journey, know that this personal transformative work is not an isolated event, but a part of a much larger spiritual journey that has been unfolding for you for a very long time, and it will continue to unfold long after this retrograde has ended. The insights that you have gained, the lessons you have learned, and the choices you have made will continue to shape your life, and they will bring you closer to your ultimate potential, and you must integrate all of it. You are not going back to who you were, you are always moving forward. You will emerge from this time with a greater clarity, a renewed sense of strength, and a deeper spiritual awareness, and you must continue to be a student of your own life, always exploring, always growing, and always moving forward. Self-reflection is not a one-time event. It's a continuous practice, and it's about looking back at your journey and honoring everything that you have learned, everything that you have experienced, and everything that has brought you to this moment. This is not about closing the book. It's about opening the next chapter with new wisdom and a greater understanding of who you are and how you are meant to be in the world. What you have seen is true, and now you must integrate that truth into your daily life. And as you continue to integrate these lessons, know that you are incredibly powerful, that you are always supported, and that you are always guided. The universe is always working in your favor, and it will always lead you to where you need to be, even when it feels like it is not. You are not alone, and you are part of a much larger community of spiritual seekers who are all on their own journey, and you are all connected by this shared experience. You have a support system that is both internal and external, and it's time for you to recognize both. This retrograde has been a challenge, but it has also been a blessing, and it is designed to help you awaken your inner power, to step fully into your purpose, and to embrace your unique destiny, and now more than ever, you are ready for what is next. Remember that this retrograde is only a single step on your path, and there will be countless more opportunities for growth, for transformation, and for continued expansion, and this was just a warm-up for what is to come, so it's essential to continue to nurture your inner fire. I want to thank you again for your time, for your attention, and for your commitment to your own spiritual journey and to the shared experience that we have all been a part of. We have explored the intense energies of this retrograde, and we have come together as a community to support each other, and this connection is incredibly powerful. As you continue your journey, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your experiences in the comments below. Your support allows me to continue to provide this guidance, and your comments help create an even stronger community of light, and this is a shared path, and we are all helping each other to walk in greater clarity. As you move forward on your path, remember that this is only the beginning, and the next phase is going to require that you maintain your focus, your intention, and your practice. I look forward to connecting with you again in the future and to continuing this incredible journey together, and until next time, take care. And now, as the Neptune retrograde continues its powerful dance, the effects are no longer subtle whispers. They are undeniable forces making their presence known, not just in the background of your awareness, but in the very forefront of your life, and in the tangible sensations that you are experiencing within your physical body. The gentle nudges that you might have felt earlier are now intense pressures, and they are causing amplified physical sensations that you can no longer dismiss as random occurrences, as if your body is now acting as a barometer, measuring the intensity of the spiritual shifts and giving you a very specific map of what you must understand. Are you experiencing persistent headaches that seem to come out of nowhere, pounding behind your eyes as if they are trying to break through into your awareness, and is the sensation not just an ache, but a literal pressure in your head? Have you felt inexplicable body aches that move from one place to another without any obvious injury, making you feel like your muscles are tightening or your joints are being pulled and you have little control of it? Perhaps you have noticed sudden changes in your energy levels, feeling completely drained one moment and then overly energized the next, creating an imbalance that throws you into chaos and making you wonder if your own body is even yours. It's as if your physical vessel is being recalibrated and the new frequencies are intense, and this intensity must be explored, not avoided, because it is the very method of communication that the universe is using. You are not going crazy, and you are not sick. You are transforming, and your body is simply letting you know. These are not isolated incidents. They are the direct result of the retrograde's power, and it is showing up in the very real way that you are experiencing the world, both within and without, and you must connect these sensations to the very real emotional states that you are also experiencing. These intensified physical sensations are very much connected to the amplified emotional states that are now swirling within you, and they are giving you very clear indications of the illusions that are dissolving, and the very real ways that your body is acting as a lightning rod for this very intense process of change. The emotional roller coaster is no longer a gentle curve. It's now a series of sharp turns and steep drops, and the intensity of the emotions that you're experiencing might seem overwhelming and almost impossible to manage, as if you are riding a storm that has no end. Are you experiencing sudden mood swings, shifting from joy to despair in a matter of moments, making you question if you are even in control of your own emotional state? And these shifts are not small ones, but a total pendulum swing that leaves you reeling. Have you felt amplified feelings of anxiety or sadness, where even simple things can trigger very deep emotional reactions, causing a profound feeling of unease or a deep sense of loss that seems to have no identifiable source? Perhaps you have noticed the reemergence of past emotional wounds. Old hurts that you thought you had healed are now reopening, and the pain is as fresh as if it had just happened, forcing you to relive the pain again and again until you are ready to heal them once and for all. These are not just emotions. They are indicators, and they are designed to reveal the hidden depths of your psyche as the retrograde pulls the veil away from these hidden truths, bringing them to the surface so you can address them directly. This intensity is not about punishment. It's about revelation, and it's about giving you a map of where you have been holding onto illusions and where you need to heal, and it is your job to read this map. You're not just feeling, you're being guided toward the very core of the emotional wounds, and these wounds, these are a direct connection to the illusions that are being stripped away. The intense emotions that are arising during this time are not random, they are not arbitrary. They are very specific indicators of the illusions that are currently being dissolved by Neptune's retrograde, and they are showing you what needs to be addressed and what needs to be released so you can step into greater alignment with your truth. For example, are you experiencing an intense grief over past hurts that you thought that you had healed, and the sorrow that you are feeling is so profound that it is taking your breath away as you relive those moments in a very clear and very painful way? Or are you feeling anger towards situations that no longer align with your values, with a rage that is bubbling up from within, as if all of your past injustices are now coming to the surface and demanding to be seen and understood and no longer tolerated? Perhaps you are feeling a deep sense of disorientation as you lose your footing in what you thought was real, and you are now questioning the very foundation of your reality, and that what was once secure is now crumbling, leaving you feeling lost and confused, as if you no longer know what to believe. These intense emotions are not meant to be ignored, they are meant to be examined, and they are meant to be understood, because they are the result of illusions falling away, and it is through these emotions that you can see the distortions that have been clouding your vision, and that have been preventing you from seeing the truth of who you are and how you are meant to be in the world. They are not obstacles, they are your map, and you must be willing to look at them closely and with compassion. The key to navigating this time is to understand that these emotional states, while intensely uncomfortable, are important indicators of the very real and very deep spiritual changes that are taking place within you, and that you are being asked to face them head-on. And now, as you begin to understand that your emotions are giving you messages, it is also important to realize that your body is also providing a very detailed map of your inner landscape, and that it is communicating with you on a cellular level, sending specific signals that are there to guide you, and it is time that you listen to the wisdom that is being offered to you. Because it is through the language of your body that you can truly understand the deeper meaning of what is occurring. The physical sensations that you are experiencing are not random, they are not accidents, they are direct ways that your body is communicating with your consciousness, and they are providing you with very specific insights that you can no longer ignore, as if your body has become a very specific code that is meant to be deciphered. For example, is there tension in your shoulders that seems to be permanent, like a physical weight that you are carrying on your back? And is it not just discomfort, but a literal tightening, as if you are carrying the responsibility of the entire world and it's your job to fix it? Perhaps you have a stomach ache that seems to come and go, a discomfort that twists and turns within you, and it is not just about what you are eating, but a deeper rejection of something you have been avoiding, a difficult truth that is trying to be heard, but you are pushing away. Or are you feeling persistent headaches that seem to be located in the center of your forehead? And is it not just a pain, but a pulsing pressure that feels like your mind is being pushed to the limit by the weight of holding on to beliefs that are no longer serving you? Each of these physical sensations is not an isolated event. They are a message, and they are directly related to specific emotional or mental states that are creating these experiences. And now is the time for you to start connecting these dots, because your body is trying to help you understand. It is not just about identifying the sensation. It is also about discovering the specific underlying belief or the specific unresolved emotion that is creating this experience, and then choosing to do something about it. Now that you are starting to see that both your emotions and your physical body are giving you very clear messages, it is time to shift from simply receiving these messages to actively navigating the spiritual encounters that are also intensifying, and they are becoming more complex, more frequent, and more varied, demanding that you be more aware, more discerning, and much more empowered. Because the veil between worlds is becoming increasingly thin, and the interactions that you are having are no longer subtle. The spiritual realm is no longer something that you are observing from a distance. It is now coming directly into your reality, and these encounters are not just feelings or ideas. They are direct interactions with specific beings and energies, and you must be able to navigate them with both an open heart and a clear mind. The spiritual guides that you might have felt previously are now going to be more present in your life, but they may be more difficult to recognize, as their messages might be less direct, and they may be more confusing, as if they are challenging you to step into your discernment and to learn to interpret the language of the Spirit in your own way. The messages might not be a clear voice or an easy-to-understand vision. They may come through feelings, through symbols, or through synchronicities, and it is your job to be able to decipher their true intention and not blindly accept them. The shadow figures that you have encountered in the past are also going to be much more present. Their influence is more intense, and their interactions may be unsettling, and their presence may feel more difficult to shake, and they will require a higher level of discernment and inner strength. You must learn how to protect yourself, and you must learn how to maintain your energetic boundaries. You might also encounter beings or energies that you have never encountered before, and they may not fit into a specific category of light or shadow, and you are required to use all of the tools that you have been given and to navigate them from a place of power and sovereignty. These are not just random experiences. They are direct interactions with the spiritual realm, and the more you are prepared for them, the more you can learn from them, and the more you will grow. With the increase in intensity of the spiritual encounters that you are now experiencing, it is not enough to simply recognize them. You must actively use discernment as a skill and not as a passive observation, because discernment is the single most important tool you have right now, and it is the key to navigating the complex energies that are surrounding you and the subtle nuances that you might be experiencing. It's not about rejecting every experience, but it's about understanding the true intention of what is showing up and understanding the deeper message that is trying to be conveyed. You must now be the gatekeeper of your own spiritual experiences. So, how do you do that? Start by validating the messages that you are receiving through a combination of your intuition, your emotions, and your physical responses, and you must not solely rely on any single one of these methods. If you receive a message that feels good, but you also feel a subtle unease in your body, or if your logical mind can't reconcile it, then you must proceed with caution. If a message feels confusing, then you must not just accept it. You must ask for clarity, and you must wait for more evidence. Test the messages by asking specific questions and seeing how the answers align with your own inner guidance, and you must always be willing to change your mind. Use the wisdom you have gained to discern the intentions, because not every being is aligned with your highest good, and it is through this combination of feeling, intuition, and logic that you can truly understand the message. and then make the choice on how to respond. If something feels confusing or chaotic, then you must wait and see if it is truly something that you need to engage with, and this is not about fear, it is about empowerment, and about choosing your own energetic path. Discernment is not a passive activity, it's a skill that you must hone, and that you must actively use to make your own way through the complexity of the spiritual realms. And now, as you begin to actively use discernment, it is time to move from simply recognizing the spiritual energies to taking responsibility for your own spiritual growth, and for the choices that you are making during this retrograde, because while the universe is providing you with guidance and support, you are ultimately responsible for shaping your own experiences and for determining your own path. You are not at the mercy of outside energies or entities. You are not a leaf blowing in the wind. You are a powerful co-creator with the universe, and you have the ability to shape your reality through your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions. It's time to step into your spiritual sovereignty and to claim your power, and to understand that you are the master of your own energetic experience. How will you do that? By understanding that you have a choice in every moment, every encounter, and every experience, and that every choice creates a ripple effect on your spiritual path. The energy that you put out is the energy that you receive, and the thoughts you are thinking will shape your reality, and the actions that you take will create your future. Are you choosing love over fear? Are you choosing joy over sadness? And are you choosing growth over stagnation? What you are choosing to focus on and what you are choosing to feel will create the reality you are currently living and the future reality that is coming. So, are you choosing to accept every thought that comes into your mind, or are you choosing to question it, to understand it, and to release it if it is no longer serving you? Are you choosing to hold on to anger and resentment, or are you choosing forgiveness and compassion? Your actions must come from intention, not from reaction, and your intentions must come from your highest self, not your shadow self, and you must always be willing to change course if you are no longer aligned with your own truth. Now is the time to own your power and to understand that your choices matter, and that you are the one who gets to define the very experience that you are having. With the understanding that you have the power to choose your experience, let's now move from the realm of inner awareness to the very actionable steps that you can take to actively release the illusions that are being dissolved by Neptune's retrograde. And this is not just about a theoretical approach. It's a very real, very tangible step-by-step process that is designed to help you break free from these limiting beliefs and patterns so you can finally step into your true potential. The process of releasing illusions is not a passive exercise. It is an active and intentional act that requires your full presence and your commitment, and it is something that you must do every single day. Start by identifying the specific illusion that you want to release, because you must first be clear on what you are letting go of before you can do the act of letting go. For example, are you holding on to the belief that you are not good enough? Or are you holding on to the belief that you are not worthy of love? Or are you holding on to the belief that you are not capable of success? Write these illusions down and make sure that you are being specific and honest, and then find a comfortable, quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and visualize the illusion as a solid object, and understand that this object is not you. See it as a dark cloud surrounding you, or a heavy chain that is binding you, and allow yourself to feel all of the emotions that are connected to that illusion. Then, imagine yourself dissolving that illusion and see the dark cloud fade away, or see the heavy chain breaking, and you are finally free, and that there is light all around you. You can then choose a symbolic action, such as burning the paper or burying it in the earth, as an outward sign of your intention to release that illusion. This is not a one-time action, it's a continuous practice, and you must use this skill to maintain your spiritual growth. Now let's take the very real act of releasing illusions and expand that into the very real practice of forgiveness, because the key to releasing the past and stepping into your future requires that you are able to forgive yourself and to forgive others for the very real harms that have been caused and the very real pain that you are now holding on to. Forgiveness is not about condoning hurtful actions. It's not about saying that what happened is okay. It is about liberating yourself from the burden of resentment and negativity, and it's about reclaiming your own energy and choosing a different path. The process of forgiveness can be difficult, and it requires courage and compassion, and it's important to remember that you are not alone on this journey. Start with yourself by acknowledging any mistakes you have made or any actions that you regret, and write it all down in a letter to yourself, but don't send the letter because this is only for your own process. Then write a letter to the people you need to forgive and express all of your anger, all of your pain, and all of your sadness without any reservation, but don't send the letter because this is only for your own processing. Find a quiet space and read the letters out loud, allowing yourself to fully express and release all of those emotions without judgment and without reservation, and feel every single emotion as you read it out loud. Then imagine yourself cutting the cords of resentment, the energetic ties that bind you to the past, and you are now finally free. You can then, when you are ready, burn or bury these letters as a physical symbol that you have now made the choice to let go and that you are now free. This is not a one-time act, but it's a process that you must continue because there will always be more to release, and you must always choose freedom. Forgiveness is not about them, it's about you and the freedom that you are now creating for yourself. With the very real acts of releasing your illusions and choosing forgiveness, you have now created the space that is needed to actively create your future. And now, you can use the power of your own intention with all that you have learned and all that you have become, and you will actively choose the life that you truly desire, and you will do this with the full understanding that you are co-creating with the universe and that you have the power to direct your own destiny. Your past does not define you. Your past is what you are learning from, and now you are choosing your own future. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a creator of your own reality, and the universe is waiting for you to claim your power and to step into your truth. Start by setting intentions that are aligned with your authentic self and not with the expectations of others, and ask yourself what you truly desire. What do you want to create? What do you want to experience? And it must always come from the heart, not the mind. Be specific in your intentions, visualize the outcome, and feel it as if you are already living it. Then choose action steps that align with those intentions, and it must be more than just thinking about it. You must take the actions that will create the reality and the future that you are desiring. If you desire to be healthier, what do you have to do? If you desire to be more connected with your heart, what do you have to do? If you desire to have more abundant relationships, what do you have to do? Intention without action is just a fantasy, and now is the time to bring that fantasy into the very real world by taking the actions that are required for your growth. Embrace the power of your own free will and claim the responsibility that comes with that power, because you are not just a passive observer, you are an active participant, and your choices matter. And now, as we come to the final section of this journey, it's time to understand how to integrate the lessons that you have learned during this Neptune retrograde, because this entire experience is not meant to be isolated. It's meant to be internalized, and it's meant to be applied to your daily life as you continue your spiritual growth and move forward on your path with more clarity and more intention. The retrograde was not just an event, it's a catalyst, and it's given you the map that you need to navigate your next steps. It's now up to you to take those steps. So how will you do that? First, make sure to take some time for self-reflection through journaling, through meditation, or through simply being in a quiet space and reviewing the changes that you've experienced and what you have discovered. Write down all of the insights that you gained and all of the emotions that you have felt and all of the changes that you have made. What illusions did you release? What patterns did you break, What steps did you take to become more aligned with your true self, and what more do you need to do? Create an intentional practice of self-reflection, as it should be a regular part of your spiritual journey, so that you will always be moving forward, and this process is about looking back at the journey with compassion and understanding that all of the challenges were designed to guide you to a better path. Reiterate to yourself that all of the challenges that you have faced were not random, they were not accidental, they were purposeful, and they have prepared you for a more aligned and a more empowered path. And now, with the integration of the retrograde's lessons, it's time for you to step fully into your authentic power, because you are not meant to live in fear, you are not meant to be small, you are not meant to hide, you are meant to shine, and you must do that with the full understanding that your path is unique, and that no one else can walk it for you. You have endured challenges, you have released illusions, and you have chosen forgiveness, and now you are ready to claim your place in this world, with an understanding of what it is that you are meant to create and who you are meant to become. The power that you have been seeking has always been inside of you, and this time was designed to help you to see it, to embrace it, and to use it for the highest good, and you must be willing to use it. So what is it? Start by remembering that your authentic self is more than just your personality. It is the very essence of who you are, the very core of your being, and it is time to release all of the masks, all of the stories, all of the things you thought that you should be, and instead, to fully embrace who you actually are. When you are in alignment with your authentic self, you feel a sense of joy and peace and purpose, and you know that you are on the path that you are meant to be on. Embrace all of your flaws, your imperfections, your quirks, your shadows, because these are what make you uniquely you, and that is your gift to the world. All of this has been a very specific experience that is designed to help you realize your potential, your wisdom, and your power, and it is now time to embrace it. Your experiences were not mistakes. They were all a part of your spiritual path, and it's time to step forward with confidence and clarity and with the full understanding of your own worth and your own place in this grand universe. And now, as we come to the end of our time together, I want to thank you for your attention, your commitment, and for your courage in exploring the depths of your own spirit during this Neptune retrograde, because it takes a great deal of courage to do what you have done, and I honor your path, and I honor your commitment to yourself. Your journey does not end here. It continues, and it's so important that you maintain the same level of awareness and focus and intention that you have created during this experience. And now, as you move forward, please remember the power of community. And if you have found this information helpful, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your experiences in the comments below, and let us all learn from each other and support each other on this very real journey, because together we are much stronger. And together we can see that we are all going through this process and that we are not alone. This is not the end. It is simply the beginning of a very new chapter, and the lessons that you have learned will continue to guide you. So, let me leave you with this final thought. The shifts that you have just experienced have been preparing you for something greater, and what is to come will test you, and it will require everything that you have learned, but you are ready, you are capable, and you are powerful. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more guidance as you continue to move forward and grow. And now, the fog that has been obscuring your vision is finally beginning to clear, and what is emerging is not always easy to accept, because the Neptune retrograde is no longer content with subtle suggestions. It is now directly confronting you with the deepest parts of yourself, the parts that you have been hiding, the parts that you have been avoiding, and the parts that you have been desperately trying to ignore, and you can no longer hide from the shadows, because the light of truth is now shining into those places. This is not just about surface-level emotions or thoughts. This is about the very foundation of who you believe you are and what you believe your life to be, and it is about facing the core beliefs, the long-held fears, and the deeply seated insecurities that have been running in the background of your life, and they are now coming forward, demanding your attention, forcing you to look at them, and requiring you to deal with them. Are you seeing patterns of self-sabotage that are now undeniably clear, like a broken record playing the same sad song again and again, and it is now clear what is causing the pain, and it is now clear what needs to stop? Have you felt long-held fears rising to the surface, intense anxieties that keep you awake at night, or a sense of dread that seems to follow you wherever you go, with specific memories attached to those fears? Perhaps you have recognized a persistent feeling of insecurity, a deep-seated belief that you are not good enough, or that you are not worthy of love, and you have tried to cover these up, but now they are demanding to be felt. This is not an easy process. It is not meant to be, but it is an essential one. It is not designed to punish you, but to reveal what has been hidden, so that you can finally step into true spiritual growth. And you can do this now with more clarity than ever before, because this is the purpose of the retrograde, to bring you to this place of raw honesty, where you are finally willing to see yourself exactly as you are. This confrontation is not something to fear, but something to embrace, because it is the key to unlocking your next chapter. As you come face to face with your deepest self, you will now see that the illusions that you have been holding on to are not just superficial beliefs. They are deeply ingrained patterns that are woven into the very fabric of your being, and they are now being targeted by the retrograde's powerful energy, as it peels back the layers of what you thought was real, revealing what has been there all along. The mask that you have been wearing, and what has been hidden under the mask. These are not just mistaken ideas or misinterpretations of your life. These are core illusions that have shaped your very identity, and they have been influencing every single one of your choices, and now you must face them head-on. Are you basing your self-worth on external validation, constantly seeking approval from others, and are you using that approval as the only measure of how good you are, as if you are a mirror reflecting only what the world tells you to? Or are you holding on to a deeply limiting belief in lack or limitation, as if abundance and success are only for others, but not for you, and it is a belief that is not just a thought, but it's a feeling that is holding you back? Perhaps you are refusing to accept your own divinity, believing that you are separate from the divine source, as if you are just human and not also spiritual, and you are not seeing the divine spark that lives inside of you. These illusions are not easily dismissed. They are not passing thoughts. They are deeply rooted, and they are now being exposed to the light, and now you must take the responsibility to release them by acknowledging them, by examining them, and then by making the choice to leave them behind, because the retrograde is not just showing you what is false. It is also giving you the strength and the clarity to choose what is real. This is not a passive process. This is an active invitation to reclaim your own truth and step out of the shadows and into the light of who you are meant to be, a person with no mask. With the illusions now being targeted, and with the light shining into the darkest places, you are now being called to actively engage with your shadow self, and to understand that the retrograde is no longer allowing you to keep these hidden aspects of yourself tucked away, as if they were separate from you, because it's now time to integrate those aspects into your authentic whole. And that is how you become a fully realized human being. This is not about being consumed by darkness. It's about understanding it, and it is about making peace with it, and finally bringing it into the light. This active engagement might manifest in unexpected ways, and you may find yourself surprised by what shows up, demanding your attention, demanding to be felt. Are you experiencing intense emotional outbursts that seem to come from nowhere, leaving you confused and shaken, as if something outside of yourself is controlling your behavior? Are you battling with intense cravings that are taking you into old patterns, and you cannot seem to get out of them, and the addiction to the pattern is overwhelming? Have you noticed that previously suppressed memories or behaviors are now surfacing, and you are having to confront the things that you thought you had long forgotten, and now they are coming back into your awareness with a sense of urgency. These are not random occurrences. They are your shadow self demanding to be seen and heard, and they are showing you what you have been ignoring, and they are designed to guide you, not to overwhelm you. This is not about letting the shadow consume you, it's about acknowledging its presence, it's about understanding its origin, it's about integrating it into the whole of your being, so you can step into a more complete version of yourself, a version that is not afraid of the dark, but understands it, and can move through it with grace and with power. This is not a weakness, it is a sign of strength, and the universe is now pushing you towards wholeness. As you now actively engage with your shadows, and as you now look at the very real ways that you have been holding on to illusions, it is no longer enough to simply observe these patterns. You must now actively participate in the process of change by using the skill of discernment in a more actionable way, and understanding that the signs that you are being given are now pointing towards specific steps that you must take, and are not simply observations that you can ignore, as if the universe has given you all the answers, and now it is your job to use them. What was once a passive recognition of spiritual signs must now become an active and intentional process, where you are now taking the knowledge that you have gained and applying it to your everyday life, using it to make more conscious and more empowered decisions. So how do you move from observation to action? Let's say you have been feeling a strong pull towards a new opportunity, but there is a feeling of fear that is also very present. Before you blindly accept that opportunity, pause and assess the validity, the intention, and the impact of the situation. What does your intuition say? What emotions are arising? And what are the physical sensations that you are feeling? Are you excited, but also a little scared? Or are you feeling truly at peace with the decision, and does it resonate deep within your bones? And then ask yourself, what are the intentions behind this opportunity? Is it truly aligned with your highest good, or is it simply something that looks good on the surface, but it will actually take you further away from your goals? What kind of impact will this decision have on your life and on the lives of others? Will it be supportive? Will it be nourishing? And will it lead to growth? Or will it lead to more struggle and more suffering? This process is about questioning, validating, and then ultimately taking responsibility for the choices that you are now making. And if the answer is not clear, you must wait until it is, and this process must become a part of how you are choosing to make all of the decisions in your life. Discernment is not just about receiving information, it's about actively choosing the path that aligns with your heart and your soul and your truest self, and that path must now be based on action, not just on observation. With the skill of discernment now becoming a very real process, you must now understand that you are an active shaper of your own reality, and you are not simply a passive observer of events that are happening around you, but you are the one who is creating the very experience that you are living through the choices that you are making, the intentions that you are setting, and the actions that you are taking, and the power that you have is far greater than you realize. The retrograde has been stripping away the illusions, and it has been giving you the tools, but it is up to you to now use those tools to create the life that you want, the life that you deserve, and the life that you are meant to live. How will you do that? By understanding that the intentions that you are setting are not simply wishful thinking, but they are powerful forces that are creating the very reality that you are living. And when you set clear and powerful intentions, you are not just hoping for a certain outcome, you are actively attracting it into your life with the power of your will. And the more clear your intention is, the more likely it is to manifest. Are you setting intentions that are based on love, joy, and abundance, or are you setting intentions that are based on fear, lack, and limitation? You must be honest with yourself, because that is the key to this process. You can no longer pretend, because the world is responding to the energy that you are sending out, whether it is conscious or unconscious, and that is your power. You must also understand that your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are not neutral. They are not without consequence. They are the very building blocks of your life, and they are all shaping the direction that you are headed. And if you're not choosing to shape them consciously, then you are allowing them to be shaped by default. Are you thinking positive and empowering thoughts, or are you thinking negative and limiting ones? Are you feeling joy and gratitude, or are you feeling anger and resentment? What are you choosing to do today that is setting up your future? You are the sculptor of your own life, and your intentions, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are the tools that you are using, so choose wisely. With the knowledge that you are actively shaping your reality, it's now time to look at the very specific process of active release, and to understand that you are no longer just letting go of what no longer serves you, but you are actively cutting the ties, with intention, and with a clear understanding that there is a very real separation between the past and the future, and what was is no longer who you are choosing to be. The old patterns, the limiting beliefs, the toxic relationships, the self-sabotaging habits, they are no longer just things that you are trying to get rid of. They are energetic cords that you are consciously severing with every single breath and with every single action, as if you are now moving with the very real understanding that you have the power to set yourself free. And this is not a passive act, but an active choice. So how do you actively cut these ties? Find a comfortable space, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths and visualize all of the things that you want to release. It could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be an emotion, it could be a habit, it could be a belief. And then imagine that there are energetic cords connecting you to each of them like a spider web that is holding you in place. And then visualize yourself using a pair of spiritual scissors, a sword of light, or whatever symbol resonates with you. And then, with a very clear intention. And with every breath, you are now cutting those cords, one by one, and you are feeling a sense of freedom, a lightness in your body, and a release in your mind. As you cut each cord, you are also repeating a mantra: I release you, I release the past, I choose freedom, and you are feeling the energy of that freedom flowing through you with every single breath. And when you are done, visualize yourself surrounded by a golden light, a field of protection and empowerment that is now keeping you free from the bonds of the past. This exercise is more than just visualization. It's a powerful tool that can help you to actively disconnect from the limiting beliefs, the toxic relationships, and the self-sabotaging patterns, and the more intention you put into it, the more powerful it will be. This is your liberation, your freedom, and now you must claim it. And now that you are actively releasing what no longer serves you, you are now ready for the very real power of forgiveness, and to understand that forgiveness is not just an act of compassion. It is a pathway to your own liberation and to your own spiritual integration, and it's about understanding that holding on to resentment, anger, and bitterness is only hurting yourself. Because the people that you are holding on to this pain for are not being affected, only you, and you must now choose a different path, a path that is based on freedom, healing, and compassion. Forgiveness is not about condoning what happened. It's not about saying that it was okay. It's about releasing the emotional weight, the energy that you are giving to the past, so that you can finally move forward with a lighter heart and with a more open spirit. And this is not for them, this is for you, because you deserve it. So, how do you begin the process of forgiveness? Start with self-reflection and take some time to journal and to acknowledge all of the ways that you have been hurt by yourself and by others, and allow yourself to feel the pain, the anger, the sadness, without judgment and without reservation. And you must be honest with yourself, because this step is critical. Then acknowledge that you have done the best that you could with the knowledge that you had at that time, and you can now choose a different path, a path that is more aligned with who you are and how you are choosing to be. Then visualize yourself sending love and compassion to yourself and to the people that you have been holding resentment towards, and understand that everyone is doing the best that they can, and that all of this was a part of your own spiritual path, and you have chosen these experiences as a way to learn. And finally, make the very conscious choice to release the negative emotions that are associated with these past hurts, and replace them with forgiveness, with compassion, and with love. This process might take time, and it might require repetition, but it is essential for your freedom and your healing, and it will open you up to a level of spiritual growth that you did not think possible. This is not a weakness, it's a profound act of strength and self-love, and now you must choose it. And with all of the tools that you have acquired during this retrograde, and with the knowledge that you have the power to shape your reality and release all of your limitations, it is now time to understand that the actions that you are taking are not only affecting your present, but they are also creating the trajectory of your spiritual journey, and that you are now the captain of your ship. And you are choosing the course that you will take with intention and with awareness, and that every choice is a step that you are now taking into the future, a step that is either aligned with your soul or taking you away from it. You are no longer just reading the signs, you are actively choosing the path, and you are choosing to steer your life with intention, with clarity, and with purpose. So, how do you ensure that your actions are aligned with your highest potential? By understanding that your choices must always come from the heart, not from the head, and that they must be based on truth, love, and compassion, and if you are ever in doubt, you must always choose love. You are now making choices that are not based on what you think you should be doing, but on what your soul is calling you to do, and you are choosing actions that will help you to reach your highest potential, and that is what is creating your spiritual journey. If you feel a pull towards something, you must be willing to listen and to follow it, because that is how you are moving towards your higher purpose. You are not just reacting to external events, you are now actively creating your own destiny, and the choices that you are making right now are setting you up for a future that is more aligned with your authentic self. So choose wisely, choose with love, and choose with intention, because you are the one who is creating the path. Your journey is not over, it is simply changing direction, and now you are taking the helm, and this is your power. And now, as we continue this journey, I want to remind you that this entire experience has been designed to bring you into alignment with your truest, most authentic self, and that the transformation that you have undergone is not just a change, it is a beautiful metamorphosis, and what is emerging is not only stronger, more empowered, and more aligned, but also that it has been designed specifically for you, as if the universe created a unique process of growth just for you. You are not simply surviving this experience, you are thriving, and you are becoming who you were always meant to be, and that is not something to be feared, but something to be celebrated, as it is a process that is as natural as the changing seasons, and it is as beautiful as the blooming of a flower, and now you must embrace it. What does it mean to step into your most authentic self? It means letting go of the masks that you have been wearing, the stories that you have been telling yourself, and all of the expectations that you have been holding onto that were not even yours. And it is now time to be honest with yourself, and to embrace who you truly are, with all of your flaws, all of your imperfections, and all of your quirks, because they are what make you unique. They are what make you special, and they are what make you powerful. When you are in alignment with your authentic self, you feel a sense of peace, a sense of joy, and a sense of purpose, and you know that you are on the path that you are meant to be on, and it is a feeling that is undeniable. Your experiences were not mistakes, they were a preparation, and your struggles were not obstacles, they were lessons, and now is the time to integrate all of that knowledge, and to step into the world with confidence, clarity, and with full understanding of your own unique power and your own unique path, because you are not here by accident. With the understanding that you are now stepping into your most authentic self, you must also understand that the power that you have been seeking has never been outside of you, it has always been inside of you, and now you are shifting that power from the world back into the heart of yourself. And that power is what you have been given this entire time. It is what you have been growing into, and now it is what you are claiming, as you embrace the full potential of who you truly are, and it is something that must now be acted upon. What does it mean to embrace your own power? It means understanding that you are not a victim of circumstance, you are the creator of your own destiny, and that you have the ability to shape your life with intention, with clarity, and with purpose, and what you are now is what you were always meant to be, and you are the chosen one of your own destiny. You are not just a witness to your life. You are the author of your story, and you have the power to write whatever chapter you choose, because the universe has given you the gift of free will, and it is your job to use it wisely. The journey that you have been on has been a preparation for you to embrace your unique calling, and to step into the world with confidence, and to use all of the tools that you have been given to help you grow, to help others grow, and to create the world that you are choosing to live in. And that world must be based on love, compassion, and understanding. This is not a future possibility, this is your very real now, and you must step into it and claim it, because you are ready, you are capable, and you are powerful. You have been chosen to be the main character of your own story, and now you must take the stage. And now, as we come to the end of this journey, I want to thank you for your active participation, your dedication, and your bravery in exploring the depths of your own spirit during this Neptune retrograde, and know that you are not alone on this path, and that you have made choices that have been designed to bring you into alignment and to bring you into power. I honor all that you have gone through, and I celebrate everything that you have become and the journey that you are now moving into, and you are ready for this. This is not the end, it is the beginning, and it is so important that you stay connected with your community, with your truth, and with your own unique calling. So if you have found this information to be helpful, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your experiences in the comments below, and let us all learn and grow together and support each other on this very real journey. Because you are not alone, you are never alone, and we are all going through this together. This is not the end, it is the beginning, and you are a part of something much bigger than yourself. This was a preview, what is coming is more intense, but you are ready, and you are capable, and you are powerful. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more guidance as you continue to move forward on your path and grow. The retrograde is no longer presenting you with gentle suggestions or subtle hints. It is now acting as a highly personalized mirror, reflecting your deepest subconscious patterns, your hidden desires, and your most profound fears in ways that you can no longer ignore or dismiss, as if the universe has decided to hold up a mirror directly in front of you, showing you exactly who you are, what you have been hiding, and what you are truly capable of. This is not a generalized event that is happening to everyone in the same way. This is something that is uniquely tailored to your specific life experience, and it is designed to bring you to a place of deep self-understanding and to push you into active transformation, because the time for simply observing is over and the time for action is now here. Are you experiencing intense emotional reactions to seemingly minor events, like a fuse that has been lit, and then it suddenly explodes without any warning, leaving you feeling overwhelmed and confused? Have you had moments of sudden clarity where you understand the hidden motivations behind your actions, like suddenly seeing a puppet master and then realizing that it has been you the entire time? Are you uncovering long-forgotten traumas or painful memories that are surfacing with a sense of urgency, like a wound that has been reopened, but it is now showing you the path to healing and not simply the pain? These are not random occurrences. They are the very specific ways in which your subconscious is choosing to speak to you, and they are directly connected to your personal history and to the very specific journey that you are now on. And it is now time to not only see these patterns, but also act on them, and to transform what is being revealed into your greatest strengths and your greatest liberation, and that will take real, intentional action, and you must not only see, but also act, because the patterns are now showing you what to do, and your destiny is waiting for you to take the first step. The spiritual encounters that you may have been experiencing are no longer subtle and easily dismissed. They are becoming undeniable, and they are now moving from the periphery of your perception directly into the forefront of your awareness, as if the veil that separates the worlds has become so thin that the spiritual dimension is now becoming an undeniable part of your everyday reality. And what was once hidden is now being revealed, and what was once unseen is now being felt. As if the universe is no longer content with whispers, it is now shouting, and it is now demanding your attention and your engagement and your trust. Are you receiving clear visions and images that seem to come from a place outside of your own mind, as if you are seeing into another dimension, and they are images that are guiding you and showing you what you need to know? Have you received direct messages from your spiritual guides, your ancestors, or from other beings, through inner voices, dreams, or signs, as if you are finally able to hear the guidance that has always been there, but you were not ready to listen? Are you experiencing profound synchronicities that feel so orchestrated that they cannot simply be coincidences, like the universe is leaving a trail of breadcrumbs directly in front of you, and it is now time to follow them? These are not just passing moments. They are deliberate acts of communication designed specifically for you, and they are meant to guide you, to support you, and to push you forward on your path. You must understand that intuition is now working at a heightened level, and it is not just a feeling, it is a direct line of communication with the divine, and you must trust your gut instinct as a guide, and you must understand that ignoring these signals will now come with a very real personal cost, because you are now choosing to turn away from your own path and from your own destiny. This is not just about receiving messages, it is about understanding them and acting on them and allowing them to guide you, and that is your responsibility and your choice, and it is a choice that you must make now. With all of this in mind, and with the understanding that what is unseen is now becoming seen, it is now time to actively engage with your shadow self, and to step into a more empowered role of not just a passive observer, but now as an explorer and as an integrator of all that you are, and this is now the time to use the tools that you have been given. To finally transform the parts of yourself that you have been avoiding, the parts that you have been fearing, and the parts that you have been desperately trying to hide, because it is these very parts that hold the key to your wholeness and to your liberation and to your true spiritual power. This is not about dwelling in the darkness. It is about illuminating the path forward and understanding the source of the darkness and transforming that energy into your greatest strength. Are you now journaling with the intention of exploring the roots of your shadow behaviors and understanding their origins, as if you are a detective looking into the source of a great mystery, and the mystery is you? Are you practicing guided visualization meditations with the intention of meeting your shadow self and understanding its motivations and healing the wounds of the past, as if you are now choosing to become friends with the darkness and not its enemy? Are you participating in specific rituals that are designed to transform your shadow qualities into positive ones and creating a safe container to finally give those aspects the space they need to move through you, as if you are an alchemist transmuting lead into gold? These are not just concepts. These are practical tools that you can use right now to finally take control of your inner world and to understand that the integration of your shadow self is essential for achieving a sense of wholeness, and the things that were once dark are now becoming the light, and the parts that you were afraid of are now becoming the source of your greatest power. And it is a power that is waiting for you to claim it if you are willing to step forward with honesty, courage, and intention. The patterns of discernment that you have now begun to recognize must now be put into active practice, and it is not enough to simply identify what no longer serves you. It is now about understanding how to use this skill to actively navigate your path forward, making choices that are aligned with your authentic self, and leaving behind all that is no longer in service of your growth and your purpose. It is no longer enough to simply see the signs. It is now about understanding their meaning and using them to make decisions that are conscious, intentional, and aligned with the highest version of yourself. And this is now your responsibility and your freedom. Are you faced with a new opportunity that seems exciting, but also brings up feelings of doubt and uncertainty. Before you say yes, pause and reflect on what your intuition is telling you and ask yourself, does this feel aligned with my true purpose, or does it feel like a distraction from my path? And you must be honest with the answers that you are being given. Are you in a situation that is causing you stress, discomfort, or pain, and you have been avoiding the necessary change? Now is the time to use your skills of discernment and to examine the situation honestly and to make the necessary choices that are aligned with your own well-being and not based on fear. Are you being called to leave behind a relationship, a job, or a lifestyle that no longer resonates with your soul? You must now use discernment to understand the underlying reasons and to release yourself from the patterns that are keeping you stuck, and it is time to move forward. Discernment is not just a tool for analysis. It is now a lens through which you see your path and how you actively create your future by the choices that you are now making and the direction that you are now moving, and you are in control of that and not at the whim of chance or fate, and that is the power that you are now ready to claim. With discernment as your guide, you must now fully embrace the reality that you are an active co-creator of your own reality, and you are not merely a passive observer of your life. You are the architect of your destiny, and you are now beginning to understand that the power of intention and conscious manifestation are very real forces that are shaping the very fabric of your life. And it is now time to begin directing that force with clarity, with love, and with the knowledge that you are the one who is in control, and you are the one who will decide where you are going and how you will get there, because you have always had the power, but now you are finally ready to use it. What specific intentions are you setting for your future, and are they based on what you truly want, or on what you think that you should want, or on what others have told you that you should want? You must be honest with yourself, because that is the only way to create a future that is authentic and true to your heart. Are you visualizing your desires with a feeling of excitement and with a sense of certainty, and are you putting emotion behind your intentions so that the universe knows that you are serious and that you are committed to creating the life that you desire? Are you taking actionable steps each and every day that are aligned with your intentions, and are you moving towards your goals with a sense of purpose and not just passively hoping that things will change? You must understand that intention is not just a thought. It is a force, and when you combine it with visualization, with emotion, and with action, it becomes a powerful catalyst for transformation, and you are no longer just hopping for the future, you are now creating the future, and that is your power. The steps you take are now more powerful than ever before. You have now understood how powerful your intention is, and how you are actively shaping your own reality. It's now time to take the very real step of actively releasing old patterns and illusions and cutting ties with what no longer serves you, not as a passive act of letting go, but as a very real act of separation, as if you are a surgeon carefully severing the ties that bind you to the past. With intention and with a clear understanding that what was is no longer, and what is now entirely your choice, and that is power, and that is your freedom, and it is time to claim it. The limiting beliefs, the toxic relationships, the self-sabotaging habits, they are no longer things that you are simply trying to move past. They are now energetic cords that you are actively cutting with every single decision and with every single thought, as if you are a warrior severing the ties that have been holding you captive, and you are choosing a different path with the full understanding that you are now free. So how do you cut these ties? First, identify what it is that you want to release, and then find a safe space where you will not be interrupted. You can write down everything that you want to let go of on a piece of paper, be as specific as possible, and then you can take that paper and burn it, releasing the energy back into the universe, or you can bury it, returning that energy back to the earth, or you can tear it into small pieces and throw it into the wind, releasing the pattern, or you can create a combination of each of these. And the ritual itself is not as important as the intention that you put into it. What is important is that you understand that the process is not simply an act of destruction, it is an act of transformation, and it is an act of creating space for growth, and that is your responsibility, and it is your freedom. The action must now match the intention, and the intention is now freedom. With the very real act of release as your guide, it is now time to take the next very real step of forgiveness, not as a concept, but as a very real tool for your own liberation, and for your own spiritual integration, as if you are now a locksmith, carefully unlocking the chains that have been holding you captive, and freeing yourself from the past with every single conscious decision. Forgiveness is not about condoning past actions or saying that what was done was okay. It is about releasing the emotional weight and the energy that you have been giving to the past so that you can move forward with a lighter heart and with a more open spirit, and you are not doing it for them, you are doing it for you, because you deserve to be free from the past, and that is what is waiting for you. And you must choose to claim it. So how do you begin this process? Find a quiet space and allow yourself to write a letter expressing all of your emotions without editing and without judgment, and you can write to yourself or to those that have hurt you, but this letter is not to send, it is only for you. You can then burn the letter, releasing the energy, or bury it as a symbolic gesture of letting go, and then sit in a space of quiet contemplation and visualize yourself sending compassion, love, and forgiveness to yourself and to those that you have been holding onto resentment for, and understand that everyone has been doing the best that they can with the knowledge that they have. And it is not your job to hold on to their pain. The most important step is to now choose to release the negative emotions and to replace them with compassion, love, and forgiveness. And this is not a weakness, but an act of profound strength and an act of deep self-love, and now you must choose it, and you must claim it as your own liberation, and no one else can do it for you. With all of the tools that you have acquired, and with all of the knowledge that you have gained, you are now fully understanding that your choices and your actions are directly shaping the trajectory of your spiritual journey, and that you are not just reacting to the world around you, you are actively creating the world that you are living in, and that you are the captain of your own ship. And you are now fully responsible for the direction that you are choosing to move in, and all of the choices that you are now making are setting up the future that is waiting for you, and you are now the one who will choose how that future will look, and that is your responsibility, and it is your greatest gift. All the choices that you make in the coming days and weeks will have a profound impact on your future, and you must now choose alignment and choose growth, because you are not simply a passenger in your own life, you are the driver, and you are now responsible for the path that you take. Are you choosing to move with love, compassion, and with intention, or are you choosing to move from fear, doubt, or limitation? Your choices must now reflect what you truly want, and not what you think that you should want, and that is how you create a future that is aligned with your soul. Are you choosing actions that are based on your authentic truth, or actions that are based on the expectations of others, or on the needs of others at the expense of your own well-being? You must understand that you are now shaping your spiritual path, not just through random events, but with each and every choice that you are now making, and that it is no longer enough to simply see the signs. You must now be proactive in using those signs to take the steps needed to move forward, and that is your power, and it is your responsibility, and you are the one who is making the choice. As we now come to this final transition, understand that this entire journey has been designed to bring you into alignment with your most authentic self, and that the lessons that you have learned are all designed specifically for you, and that you have now embodied the tools that you need to create a life that is based on love, joy, and purpose. And that you have been shaped into the person that you were always meant to be, and what you have now is all that you will need to move into the next chapter, and into the next adventure, and this is not just an end, it is an opening. The metamorphosis that you have now undergone is not something that has happened to you, but it is something that you have created, and it is something that you have been actively participating in, and you are now the very embodiment of your own potential, and you are ready to move forward into your full authentic life, not as something that may or may not happen, but as something that is now actively happening. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are an active participant in your own spiritual evolution, and that is your power, and it is also your responsibility, and you must embrace it with all of your being, and you must move forward with confidence, knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. You are not simply ready for the journey, you are doing the journey, and you are now an active participant of your own evolution. This is not just a conclusion, it is a new beginning, and it is a new chapter that you are now writing, and you are now the author of your own destiny, and that is a very powerful thing, and you have earned it. And now, as we reach this final chapter, I want to remind you that you are not alone, you have never been alone, and that the universe is now surrounding you with love, with support, and with guidance, and that you are now ready to step into the next steps of your journey, and to embrace your unique gifts and your unique calling, and to move forward into a life of abundance, connection, and love. And that you are now fully supported by the universe in every single step that you are now choosing to take. The power that you have discovered is not a power that you are meant to keep to yourself. It is a power that you are meant to share with the world, and it is a power that you are meant to use for the highest good of all, and that includes you. You are now a beacon of light, and you are a guide for others, and that is your responsibility, and that is your gift. You must now fully embrace this power, and use it to create a world that is based on love, compassion, and understanding, and to actively make the changes that you want to see. And this is not simply a possibility, this is your calling, and this is your mission, and you have now been fully prepared, you are ready, and you are capable, and you have now earned this. And now, as we come to the end of this video, I want to thank you for your active engagement, and for your dedication to your own spiritual growth, and for being a part of this incredible community, and I want to remind you that this journey is not over. It is only beginning, and that you are now ready for the next level of growth, and you are not alone. If you have found this video to be helpful, then please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your experiences in the comments below, so that we can all continue to learn and grow together as we support one another on this very real path, and this very real journey, because we are all in this together, and we are all connected, and we are all loved, and we are all supported. This journey is far from over, and the next phase requires the integration of all that you have learned here, and you must now prepare for what comes next, and to continue to claim your power, and to continue to move forward with intention, with love, and with purpose, and know that you are never alone, and that you are always guided, and always loved, and always supported. And that you are now ready for the journey ahead, and you must choose to claim it. Until next time, take care, and subscribe for more guidance as you continue your journey. As we bring this journey to its culmination, let's reflect on the core lessons that have emerged, the insights you've gained, and the transformations you've embraced. You have been guided to understand that Neptune's retrograde is not simply an external cosmic event, but a very powerful mirror reflecting your deepest truths, your long-held illusions, and your untapped potential. And it has asked you to embrace your role, not simply as an observer, but as an active co-creator of your spiritual path. And this was not accidental. You have been shown the energy of illusion and revelation, and you have now understood how to navigate the often confusing waters between what is real and what is not. You have been offered the key to understand that your intuition is not simply a passing feeling, but a direct line of communication with the divine, and that the spiritual encounters you have been having are not random occurrences, but very personalized messages of guidance and of support meant specifically for you, and it was by design. You have now moved from passively observing these subtle energies to actively engaging with them, using your very real skills of discernment to make conscious choices with every step and every decision. You have confronted your shadow self with courage, integrating the darkness with the light, and you have released old patterns and deeply held illusions not as a concept, but as a real act of liberation. You have moved forward with forgiveness, not as an act of weakness, but as an act of profound self-love. All of these powerful steps have been stepping stones that have led you to where you are now, and you must now recognize that they were each carefully tailored to your unique path, and you must recognize that what you have learned is what you will use. Are you recognizing the patterns, the changes, the feelings that have come as a result of this journey? Are you now integrating this knowledge into your daily life and using the tools that you have gained to navigate each moment? Are you finally understanding that this was not simply a passive experience, but a very intentional journey of transformation, and that what you have gained is what you are now meant to use and to share? This retrograde has been more than just a cosmic event. It has been a deeply personal revelation of your own unique spiritual truths, and it was not generalized. It was very specific to you and to your journey, and it was all by design, and now you must step into that. What was hidden is now revealed, and what was unclear is now a clear path, and all the pieces of the puzzle that you have been collecting are now finally beginning to form a picture. You are now understanding that you are not merely a human being, but a divine being and a powerful one, with gifts that are unique to you, and your unique purpose is now becoming more clear and more vibrant, and it is something that only you can do. You have been shown that there is no one-size-fits-all path to enlightenment, and that your journey is entirely your own, and you must honor its unique expression, and you must honor your own voice, and you must honor the messages that you are receiving. Perhaps you have finally accepted your divine nature, and you are now understanding that you are a spiritual being, having a human experience, and not the other way around. Perhaps you have gained clarity on your true spiritual purpose, and you are now seeing how your unique gifts and talents can be used to serve not only yourself, but the world. Or perhaps you have been given a very clear and direct vision of your authentic path, and you are now seeing the path that you have always been meant to walk, and you are finally ready to step into it. This revelation is not something that has happened overnight. It has been a process, a journey, and a culmination of all the steps that you have taken, and it has all been for this moment. And it is crucial that you realize that this journey is far from over, and the lessons you have learned are only the beginning of your own spiritual evolution, and that is what is waiting for you. Are you now fully accepting your true nature, and are you now stepping into your unique purpose? Are you finally seeing the path that has been waiting for you, and are you now understanding the importance of your own individual path, and the importance of trusting your own inner voice? Are you seeing how these lessons have already become stepping stones, and that your growth will continue as long as you are willing to move forward? With this profound self-revelation as your guide, it's time to bring the pattern of active discernment to a point of completion, and that pattern is now becoming a conscious force. You have moved from simply recognizing the signs and the synchronicities to actively using discernment as a compass on your spiritual path, and it is no longer a passive observation, but an active engagement and an active choice that you are now making with every step, with every breath. You have seen the path, and now you are choosing your next step and your next direction, and this is more important than you might even understand. Imagine that you are faced with a decision that feels both exciting and terrifying, a new relationship, a career change, or a big move, and your mind is telling you all the reasons why you should and why you shouldn't, and the fear is beginning to take over. But instead of letting fear guide you, you must now pause and reflect on what your intuition is telling you, and you must ask yourself, does this align with my true purpose, my true values, and my true self? Does this feel like a step towards growth, or does it feel like a distraction from my path? Then you must validate your insights, not through the opinions of others, but through your own inner guidance, and through the signs that you have been shown, and the messages that you are receiving, and you must trust your own inner voice, and understand that it is the only one that is truly guiding you. Finally, you must take responsibility for your choices, understanding that there is no right or wrong choice. There is only the choice that is right for you, and that every choice that you now make is moving you closer or further from your path. Discernment is not a one-time skill. It is a constant practice, and it must be integrated into your life as a daily tool that is always guiding you, and it is your guide for moving forward with clarity and with certainty, and it is only you that can decide which direction you will go. Are you seeing how your discernment is now becoming an active tool for navigating your path? Are you understanding the power of your intuition as a compass, and are you now choosing to trust it? Are you stepping into your own authority and taking responsibility for your choices, understanding that you are the one who is now in control of your journey? With this personal journey as your foundation, let's now step back and place this Neptune retrograde within a broader spiritual context, and finally understand that what you have been doing is not just about you and your personal journey, but also a part of a much larger collective movement that is happening across the world, and you are not alone. There are shifts occurring in the very fabric of reality, and your journey is a very real part of this, and what you have been experiencing is not simply unique to you, but is also a part of a larger awakening, and what you have learned is what you will now use to help others. This is not just about personal transformation, it is about collective evolution, and that is why it is so very important. Understand that the challenges that you have faced, the illusions that you have released, and the insights that you have gained have all been preparing you to be an active participant in this very real shift in global consciousness, and that what was once hard is now easy, and that what was once confusing is now clear. And now you are ready to use what you have to be a very real part of this movement. The intense periods of personal growth that you have undergone have not been random occurrences, they have been part of a very specific design, and now you are being called to step into your very real role and to take what you have learned and to help others. The shifts that you have felt are not just your own, they are reverberating throughout the world, and they are part of this collective awakening, and you are now a part of this movement, whether you choose to accept it or not. Are you understanding that your individual growth is part of a much larger global transformation, and that you are now part of a collective effort? Are you recognizing the patterns that have been forming around the world, and how they are connected to your personal journey, and that the challenges you have faced have also been the challenges of others? Are you finally feeling the call to step into your role as a guide, a healer, and a leader, and that what you have gained is now yours to share with the world? And what about those intensified spiritual encounters? You must now understand that these encounters were not simply coincidences, but very direct and specific results of your own spiritual growth, and of your very real increase in awareness, and that as you have opened yourself up to the spiritual dimensions, those dimensions have in turn opened up to you, and what was once a whisper is now a shout. These very real interactions were not random. They were designed to guide you, to support you, and to validate you on your journey, and to show you that you are not alone, and that you are supported on all levels, and it is time to accept it. Think of that unexpected message that came through in a dream that felt so real that it couldn't have simply been your imagination, or that sign that you saw in the form of a bird or a repeated number, and the feeling that it left behind, that this was meant for you. Or maybe it was a very clear and direct message from your guides that you received during meditation, offering encouragement and direction and the feeling of being loved and guided. These are not just abstract ideas. They are very real interactions that are meant to show you that you are indeed on the right path, and that the universe is actively supporting you in every single step that you are now choosing to take, and you must honor these interactions and what you were given. These encounters are not just messages from the outside. They are very real reflections of your own inner truth, and your own increasing awareness of your spiritual gifts, and of the connections that you have, and they are showing you that the universe is always listening, always guiding, and always loving you, and that is the truth. Are you now understanding that these encounters have been a direct result of your spiritual growth, and not simply random occurrences? Are you recognizing how these messages have been tailored specifically for you and are providing guidance, support, and validation for your journey? Are you now stepping into the reality that you are actively supported by unseen forces that are always working in your favor and are here to assist you in every way and to help you succeed? Now let us look at the implications of releasing those deeply held illusions, those masks that you have been wearing, those beliefs that you have been holding onto, even if you were aware that they were not true, and understand that this was not just a mental exercise, but a very real and tangible experience that has impacted your life on very deep and profound levels. And the old patterns are falling away, and what is being revealed is true clarity and very real freedom, and that is what you have always deserved. The release of these illusions is not simply a removal of what was false, but a very real opening up to what is true, and it is a space where new possibilities and new opportunities are now beginning to emerge. You may now be seeing new paths that were not visible before, and perhaps you are now experiencing a very real sense of clarity in your relationships, where the dynamics are becoming more authentic and more loving, or you may be experiencing a greater sense of peace and contentment, knowing that you have finally moved past the past and that you are now free to fully embody your true self, and that there is no turning back. What was once clouded by doubt and fear is now becoming clear and vibrant, and what was once hidden by illusions is now visible and undeniable. This is not just a change in your perspective, but a very real shift in your life and in your reality, and the path that you are now on is very different than the one you were on. You have now created a space for growth, for abundance, and for joy, and you must honor the space that you have created. Are you seeing how new opportunities are now appearing that were not there before, and that the path is becoming clear? Are you feeling a deeper sense of connection in your relationships and a greater sense of peace and of well-being as you move through the world? Are you now realizing how the release of these old illusions has empowered you to step into a more authentic and a more joyful version of yourself, and that this is what was always waiting for you? Now, as we come closer to this final transition, it's time to bring all the major threads of your journey together into a single cohesive picture, and to fully appreciate the very real journey that you have been on, and how far you have come, and how strong you have become. You have seen that it was not just random events, but the perfect combination of lessons and experiences that were carefully crafted for you, and that is your power, and that is what you will use. You have successfully navigated the dualities of the retrograde's energy, understanding both the illusions and the revelations, and you have learned how to use your intuition to guide you, and not to fear you, and that the veil is not simply a barrier, but an opening to a larger world. You have also moved through your fear, embracing your shadow self, and understanding how to transform the darkness into light, and you have used the tool of active discernment, and are now actively choosing the path you were always meant to walk. You have released old patterns with intention, and you have forgiven yourself and others, and you are now ready to move forward with a lighter heart and a more open spirit, and that is your power. You are not simply ready, you have done the work, you have moved through the challenges, and you have emerged transformed, and that is the truth, and that is what you will carry with you. You have now integrated these experiences and these tools into the very fabric of your being, and they are now a very real part of you, and you are now using them with grace, with power, and with certainty, and what you have now is all that you need. Are you now recognizing the transformation that you have undergone, and seeing how each part was essential to your spiritual growth? Are you understanding how these tools and these experiences are now becoming a part of your daily life, and guiding you with each step? Are you fully embracing your empowered self, ready to continue your path forward with confidence, with certainty, and with grace? As we bring this transformation to its completion, it's essential to understand that you are not simply aware of your power, but that you are now actively using it to shape the reality that you are living in, and you are not a passive observer, but an active co-creator, and you are now fully in control of the direction that you are moving and of the choices that you are now making. And you are fully in control of your life. The power of intention is not just a concept, but a very real force that you are now using to manifest the life of your dreams and to create the world that you want to see, and you are doing it consciously and with intention. Perhaps you set the intention to find a job that aligned with your true purpose, and now it has finally appeared, and it has shown up exactly as you had envisioned it, with perfect conditions and amazing people. Or maybe you set the intention to improve your relationships, and now they are finally moving forward in love and with understanding and with compassion. Or perhaps you set the intention to find peace and contentment, and you now feel a sense of gratitude and a sense of joy that you have never known before, and it is all a result of the choices that you have made. This is not simply a coincidence, it is a very real manifestation of your intentions, and it is proof of your power, and you must honor it. The loop between your thoughts, your intentions, and your experiences is now becoming stronger and stronger, and you are now understanding that you are not simply a product of your circumstances, you are the very architect of your life, and that is something that you must always remember. Are you now witnessing the direct results of your intentions and seeing the manifestation of your desires in very real ways? Are you understanding how your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are creating your reality, and that you are not a passive observer, but an active co-creator? Are you now stepping into your power and using it with intention, with love, and with grace, knowing that you are in control of the direction that you are choosing to move? And as we begin to bring this to a close, let's release the tension of uncertainty that was created throughout this entire journey and step into a very real sense of clarity and of certainty, and know that you have earned it. The confusion that you may have felt at the beginning is now being replaced with a deep understanding, and the fear that may have been holding you back is now being replaced with a sense of confidence and of courage. You are now seeing your own path with more clarity and with more conviction, and you are fully trusting your intuition as your guide and not as a source of fear, and you are fully embracing your spiritual path as your greatest truth. What was once obscured by the shadows is now bathed in light, and you are no longer questioning the direction you are going, but you are finally choosing to walk it, and that is how you create your future. You have moved through the confusion, you have overcome the challenges, and you are now embracing the truth of who you are, and you have done it with grace, with strength, and with intention. The road ahead may still have its twists and turns, and that is part of the adventure, but you are now equipped with the tools and the understanding to navigate it with confidence, knowing that you are guided, you are loved, and that you are supported, and that what comes next is for you and you alone. Are you now seeing your own path with more confidence and with more clarity, and are you understanding what is waiting for you? Are you feeling a sense of peace and of certainty, knowing that you have the tools to navigate any challenge that comes your way, and that the fear is now moving into trust? Are you now embracing the truth of who you are, and are you now ready to step into your destiny with intention, with love, and with purpose, and with a full heart? And now, as we reach this final chapter, it's time to look towards the future and to understand that this journey is not over, it is only just beginning, and that the closing of one chapter is simply the opening to the next, and you are now ready. The questions that you had at the beginning are now being replaced with new questions and with new possibilities, and as you continue to grow and to evolve, your path will continue to unfold in unexpected ways, and you must now be open to what is coming, because it will be magnificent. Perhaps you are now asking, what does my next step look like? And how can I now use my power to assist others? And how can I expand my spiritual growth even further? And how can I create the life that I have always dreamed of, and the life that I have always known that I was meant to live? This is not a time to settle back and relax and believe that you have now reached the end, but it is now a time to move forward with intention and to continue to explore the vastness of your own spiritual potential, and to push past what you thought was possible. This journey is a never-ending adventure, and you are now ready to embark on new explorations, with open eyes and with an open heart, and the universe is now waiting for you to take the first step, and to see what is waiting for you. You are not simply at the end of something, you are now at the beginning of something new, and that is a very powerful thing to know and to fully embody. Are you recognizing that your journey is far from over, and that you are only just beginning to understand the full scope of your potential? Are you feeling the excitement of what is to come, and are you open to the new questions and possibilities that are now emerging? Are you now fully embracing the idea that your spiritual evolution is a lifelong adventure, and that there is always more to learn and to explore? With the vast expanse of your potential now in view, let's also explore new areas of spiritual growth, and it is now time to push past the boundaries that you may have once thought were there, and to step into a new level of mastery, and to expand your understanding of all that is. Now that you have laid the foundational work, you are now ready to dive into more advanced practices and into deeper levels of self-exploration, and it is time to take what you have learned and to use it, and to become a master of your own spiritual evolution. Perhaps it's time to explore more advanced meditation techniques, such as guided visualizations or transcendental meditation, or maybe it's time to dive into the study of sacred texts, and to explore ancient wisdom traditions, or maybe it's time to engage with a spiritual community, and to share your experiences, to learn from others, and to grow together, and it is not enough to know it. You must now embody it. You can also begin to develop your psychic gifts, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, and you can use those to help guide yourself and others. This journey is a lifelong endeavor, and there is always more to learn, always more to discover, and always more to embody. What you have learned is only the beginning, and you are now ready to continue to climb to new levels of mastery, and to take your gifts and talents to an even higher level of expression, and that is what is waiting for you. Are you now feeling the call to explore new practices and to deepen your spiritual understanding? Are you ready to engage with advanced spiritual tools and techniques, and to take what you have learned to the next level of growth? Are you now fully embracing the idea that there is no limit to your potential, and that there is always more to discover and to become? And now, as we reach the final moment of our journey together, understand that you are never truly alone, and that this journey is not meant to be done in isolation, but it is meant to be shared and to be celebrated, and it is now time to fully embrace the power of the community and to continue to share, to learn, and to grow with each other, because we are all connected. You must now step into your role as a guide, a support, and as a source of love for those around you, and to know that you are also being supported, and that is what is waiting for you. So I invite you to continue this journey with us, by liking this video, by subscribing to the channel, and by sharing your experiences in the comments below, and know that you are now a part of something bigger, something more important than yourself. Let's continue this journey together, and let's support one another as we all move through the challenges and the joys of life, and know that we are always here for you. Your support is an essential part of this movement, and together we can create a community that is based on love, on compassion, and on understanding, and it is time to step into it. As we begin to close, you must understand that what comes next will be more intense and more challenging, but you are now ready, and you have the tools, and you have the support, and you have the power, and you will succeed. The journey continues, and we will be here to guide you every step of the way. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more guidance as you move down this path.